Hey!
Hello!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Not You Will Be Witness, but Legends of Avantris, the Prime campaign. We are a bunch of nerds embarrassing ourselves for your entertainment. We have been for over a year now on stream, but we've been playing together in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for nearly 3 years. So yeah, December 13th.
Wow,
nearly 3 years, ladies and gentlemen.
We've been friends that long.
I know. It's nuts. This is a homebrew setting of Avantris, as most of you know. If you're new, welcome. If you're old, welcome back. We love you. What are the housekeeping? This is a mature stream, so we're going to curse a lot, and there's some dark themes, potentially. You don't know. And what else we got? There are adult themes like alcohol consumption. As
there
well.
are hookers.
And hookers. There are also hookers, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. What else we got here? We are doing a giveaway at 600 followers. So a fun giveaway of fun business, a crafty little goodie. So basically, at 600 followers, we're doing a giveaway for everyone in chat. So make sure you tell your friends to follow, and then be in chat, be vocal, and hang out.
Yeah.
By the way, if you missed yesterday, or missed any of the announcements, we are switching our schedule to Tuesday and Wednesday. And we're going to see how that works. Please give us feedback, how you like that. Call of the Feywild is finally back after like 3 months hiatus. Next Tuesday, and then we'll be doing Prime on Wednesdays. As usual, nothing changes for Prime. I think that's it. Let's go around and introduce the party. So we'll first, of course, start with Richie. He's playing Rodic Stonehearth. He's also on his phone, and he's doing things for the stream. He's our producer. We got our producer Rick on the line.
Yeah, Rick.
We got Rick here. He's playing Rodic Stonehearth, a dwarf fighter. We then have Nikki playing Sylvie Flickerwicket, who is a gnome warlock. We then have Kelsey playing Annulin Mossgrove, who is a wood elf ranger. And then finally we have Andy playing Avantris True Strike, a high elf rogue. He's also eating some delicious looking noodles, let me tell ya. And he's literally never scared. He also streams a lot of video games. I think primarily lately it's been Magic the Gathering Online, or whatever they call it these days. And so follow him.
My favorite game.
I hope you all burn in hell.
Is that what it's called?
No, that's the failed version. That's the
Yeah,
online.
Magic the Gathering Online is the old one. Arena is the new one. I'm kidding. I hope none of you burn in hell.
Okay.
Arena is the cool
Arena,
new
got
one.
it. See, I'm learning, okay?
It's
I've
a
been playing
sensitive
video
subject,
games in a
okay?
very long time, okay? What else? Oh, and so he plays video games. Follow him, click on his name, follow him.
Yep.
And then I am Mikey. I'm the Ironing Board DM. I literally DM on an ironing board, and I roll dice and write fan fiction.
Truth.
And it's a lot of fun.
And can you pass me Dobby?
Oh yes, I will pass Dobby.
Because I'm going to put him in the camera.
Here.
Fantastic Beasts comes out tomorrow.
Oh, it does.
And it's
It
very
does.
important that we show a Fantastic Beast. So here's Dobby.
That's
He's going to
terrific.
hang out with
That's
us
horrifying.
That's
for
terrific.
foreseeable future.
From Fantastic Beasts.
We're sponsored by
Sponsored by
Warner
Warner
Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic Beasts. We're not. But if you want to, I love Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
we would love to be sponsored.
We would.
If there are any sponsors watching this, feel free. We also have a YouTube channel. Rich has been getting up a lot of videos, and so we're approaching caught up on Prime, and we'll keep adding videos. So we really appreciate.
Thank you for the
welcome,
follow.
DJ Truthsayer.
Thank you.
Welcome
I like
and enjoy speaking the truth. And with that, I think, does anyone have any other announcements? Are we good?
Hey, Candace. Hi, how are you?
Hey,
Long time no see, my dude.
Everybody, we love everybody. Oh, there's a dog here.
Is it Remy?
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
One of the several
one of
Avantris
the
bugs.
one of the two Avantris pugs.
So, we're just going to do what happened last time on Legends of Avantris.
Can I see him? I'll hold him while you DM.
Yeah.
Come here, buddy.
We have
Hi.
a surprise doggo.
How did you come upstairs? Hello. Hello.
So, last time on Legends of Avantris, you put on a play. It was Vampire the Masquerade, the play. It was an idea that Sylvie had in response to news that was spreading about a vampire in Ogway, murders, and people having their blood sucked directly out of their veins. And it was spreading like wildfire until Sylvia had the idea to put on a play. they put on the play with a script that Sylvie wrote, and the Bushwhackers, one of the gangs of Ogway, helped put on. And welcome!
Thank you for the
Welcome,
follow,
you for the
Lynn
follow.
and Meyer.
Yeah, enjoy the times in the pubs. And
Hold it like this.
the show was a massive success thanks to some great performance checks and the like. Afterwards, it seemed as if the whisperings and worry of this vampire was mostly dispelled, and they thought that, it was just a viral marketing campaign, and then any future attempts in order to spread this were basically it's for next week's show or the like. It seemed to have kind of calmed a lot of the town. After the show, they were met. Thank you for the host. Thank you for the host, DJ Truthsayer.
Remy thanks you for the host too.
Yeah.
You'll see another Remy soon.
Yeah, there's going to be a Remy soon. Mentioned. No relation. And so afterwards, they were met by Alphonse LeBlanc, one of the Silver Serpents, a ruler of the town of Gullhaven, which they saved in the previous arc. Go watch it on YouTube. And who has been in his hometown of Ogway, and he was in the front row along with his young shopkeeper that he employs named Mina. He came up to the party and congratulated them for a job well done and offered them a bouquet of roses, but they were actually vials of invisibility potion, an enhanced LeBlanc invisibility potion, which he encouraged them to take a look on what was happening over at the Hungry Catfish, the riverboat casino owned by the one and only Remy Guru, who is the crime boss that kind of runs the entire town, kind of rules the three major crime families. Hey everyone, meet Chunk.
This is Chunk.
Chunk.
We like to call him. We fondly refer to him as Chunk.
Chunk.
Or Chonk.
Chonk or Chunk. And after some deliberation, you all decided to take Alphonse up on his word after Alphonse made it very clear that he was aware that this was all a ruse and that there was a vampire in Ogway. And so the party made their way to the Hungry Catfish. And after downing the potion, Avantris himself went alone and snuck behind the tailing members of a meeting that they knew was happening with all the gang bosses. And fully invisible, he hid up in the second floor balcony and witnessed a meeting. A surprising sight, to be sure. Not only was this meeting surrounded by multicolor phosphorescent candles, the likes that they had seen at the cemetery the previous evening, where there was a strange voodoo ritual going on. They were held by bullywugs, the creatures that serve Guru, with grinning skull face paint, which was a similar also like, which resembles this the symbol of the strange man in the shadows named Baron Samedi. Basically, it was. Guru told the other bosses that the party was to not be touched, that he was under their protection, and he was very concerned about Alphonse LeBlanc, and he was basically demanded loyalty, threatening each of the bosses with voodoo dolls, and threatening to basically kill them without a second thought if he was not convinced of their loyalty. They all pledged their loyalty and left, and then he revealed he tended a wound that he had. In the same place where Taiki had shot the man in the mask the previous evening. And with that, the party, Avantris left. After kind of broadcasting it on his walkie-talkie, he filled the party on everything that he saw. They reconvened and realized that there were some pretty heavy things going on. And they decided to meet up with Mina, who Alphonse had offered to take them to where she had seen a strange woman with these strange kind of misty-eyed a stable boy kind of following down into a cellar or a basement or the like.
Stable boy, you say?
And that is where we left off. And so you guys we'll say that you are arriving at the restaurant. the restaurant of the Crossroads, the hotel that you're staying at. As you're descending the stairs, as I said at the very end of the last session, that Mina is sitting at her at a table for two, picking at some breakfast with a little cup of tea. Her large kind of spectacles kind of drooping down, almost falling off of her face as she's kind of picking at it. She's kind of hunched over. What are you guys doing? What are we doing? I'm gonna try to fix this.
Hello, Mina. Have you been waiting for us?
Oh, so you're approaching the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you approach the table, and she kind of has a mouthful of waffle as you approach, and she's like, yeah. No, I mean, hi. It's good to see you again. I thought I was supposed to meet you here.
Hello. I mean, I think that's fine. Thank you for saving us the trip. Do you plan on taking us to the Sunsteel? Was it Sunsteel Quarter?
No, I think it was the ward.
Sunsteel Ward?
It's the ward, yeah. No, it's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's the ward.
I have a memory like a wooden trap.
Well, do you mind if we sit down for a wee bit before we go on?
Oh no, please go ahead.
I too enjoy waffles.
I also forgot to mention, we're gonna wind it up a little bit about the preview. After the meeting, they actually went to go meet with Guru, and he offered to trade a mirror that could trap a vampire, so he said, make sure they could not transform into mist or bat or anything else. And he wanted something interesting. The party assumed it was a green dragon egg, and he thought that sounded just fine, and the deal was on the table. They wanted some time to think about it, and they went back, and now they've met Mina. You're all sitting down. She said, I should have booked a bigger table. I'm sorry. I'll see if they have another one. Okay. And she runs up and kind of leaves you all alone standing at the table as she goes and waves down. Oh, thank you for the
Johnny
Dragoon.
Dragoon.
Legend of the Johnny Dragoon.
Yeah.
And she runs over to the hostess, and you see her kind of. And quickly, a hostess kind of comes over and says, "We'll move you over." And she kind of takes all of the things that were at Mina's place and sets them all down at a table for six. A round circular table. You're all seated, and plates are brought, and coffee, tea, whatever breakfast foods you would like are all kind of brought. As Mina kind of sits back down, looking at the four of you, and she sits just kind of awkwardly, and she picks up her fork and starts eating waffles, just kind of looking at you.
So, waffles are great and everything, but, yeah, what are your plans today, Mina? Like, you gonna do anything cool or anything?
Last night, wasn't I supposed to take you to a place?
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I'm so glad that you brought it up and that you offered to do that without us having to ask.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Now, not to be forward, but could you do us a favor and try to remember in as extreme detail as possible exactly what you saw? Well, while we eat, we'll have nice conversation and just tell us in extreme detail what you saw. And then I stick a big old waffle spoon fork on my mouth.
She looks at you. Your forwardness, despite you saying "pardon my forwardness," still unsettles her a bit, and she's nervous and awkward. Could you please make a persuasion check for me? I don't mean to be mean, but...
Persuasion? Oh, shit. 27.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
That barely makes the DC.
Barely. She's an iron will.
Give her a little wink as I pour syrup on my waffles.
You seductively ooze the syrup. It's like this walnut maple syrup all over your plate. And she kind of blushes a little bit, and her whole face is completely red. And she says, "Well, okay. I'll try to remember. I was walking around in the Sunsteel Ward because I thought that their markets were pretty, and I wanted to buy something nice for Mr. LeBlanc.
and I was by this. I kind of got lost, and I took a wrong turn, and then that wrong turn turned into another wrong turn, which then I think turned into another wrong turn, and then it goes on for a while. And I saw really...
Yeah, I know how that feels.
Yeah, no, it was scary. And then, I know that I'm not supposed to be in the bad parts of town that late, but I was there, and I saw this really creepy barn, and it was all collapsed in, and I wasn't expecting anyone to see there because it was so quiet, but then I saw a girl walking down the street, very confident. She had black hair, and she had someone behind her. He was a guy, I guess, and there was a door, a cellar door with an iron bar, and she opened it up, and both of them went down, and it was really creepy and weird. And then I kind of stopped to wait because I'm kind of curious, which is a character flaw I'm trying to work on. And Mr. LeBlanc tells me I should, and I'm really too curious, but I waited. And then they didn't come back out, and then I left because I got really scared.
What did this lad look like? The one following them?
Oh. Yeah, was he the one with the pink eyes or the red eyes or something?
He was carrying a pitchfork, and it had some hay on it, and he had suspenders, and he just looked like a farmhand or a stable boy. I don't know. He wasn't much older than his teens.
Pitchforks are very suspicious.
And the weird thing is the look. I'll never forget the look in the boy's eyes. They were blue and weird. It didn't look natural.
I turn to the group. Is it possible that was the Caleb the stable boy, the exsanguinated?
No, because remember I spoke with his dead body before they fed it to the alligators.
So you think she just targeted a different stable boy?
I don't know.
Most likely.
I'm not so concerned with the fact that he's a stable boy or the weird eyes. It's the pitchfork that concerns me. Only those that are truly devious use pitchforks.
Was it a strange pitchfork, like the magical of any kind?
I bet
or
it
was
was.
it just a regular pitchfork?
It looked like a pitchfork I see down on my pa's farm growing up.
I knew it! It's an evil pitchfork.
I scarf down the rest. All right, let's go. I want to take a look.
Are you going to be able to get us there with all of the seemingly wrong turns that you had taken?
Well, it may take a while, I guess, but...
Fine, we have all day.
Yeah, we literally have nothing else to do. All of our friends are currently sitting here in this room.
Or dead.
Or dead.
Or kind of dead.
We're heroes. So basically anyone who knows us that isn't us is dead.
Well, that sounds very dark and scary.
No, none of us are carrying pitchforks.
Well, what if there's something scary down in that basement, and all of the heebie-jeebies I got are real heebie-jeebies? Are you guys...
I'm very confident whatever it is, we'll be able to handle it.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Sylvie knows how to do a heebie-jeebie shot, too.
I do what?
Like circle, circle, dot, dot, heebie-jeebie shot.
Yeah, and then I just do whatever anyone just told me to do. I do 2 circular dances, and then I stick my arms up in the air, shake my rump at her, and go heebie-jeebie.
See, you're fine.
Yeah, see?
We already had ours. We're set.
Yeah, then I punch her in the stomach. No, I'm just kidding.
That didn't really help. I'm still very scared.
Oh, well...
You'll be fine. Let's go on.
I can turn things invisible, so if things get really crazy, I'll make you invisible and you can run away and no one will see you.
Oh, that sounds nice, I guess.
Yeah.
Can you make a persuasion check real quick for me?
That doesn't sound nice at all. Let's see. Why is it not coming out? There we go. Sorry. Persuasion. 13.
13. That's enough. She kind of looks very scared, but her trembling stops a little bit, and she nods and she says,
Oh, okay. That's just fine. That's just fine. That's fine. Okay, let's finish breakfast and I mean, unless you want to go now. You don't have to finish breakfast. Whatever you guys think.
I finished my breakfast. I'm waiting on you guys.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's go.
I didn't even eat any breakfast.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's go.
And she kind of pushes her chair back and gets up. She walks away from the table. Oh my gosh, I forgot my bag. And she runs back, and there's a backpack, this kind of awkwardly large backpack, slung along.
Did you see how awkwardly large that is?
Slung along the back of the chair. She goes and she grabs it. She puts it on, and she's grabbing like both of the straps, and she goes.
The only thing more frightening than a pitchfork is an overly large backpack. But I think it's okay.
Are you saying that to her?
Yes.
Oh, I was just keeping my books and my notes and my work in there. I mean, and my ledgers, and there's a lot to carry. I don't like to leave it unattended.
That sounds like a well thought out story, something a liar would say. Not that I'm assuming anything.
Would you be more comfortable leaving it here in the room?
No, I should bring it. I don't want to leave it anywhere. Mr. LeBlanc says I shouldn't leave it anywhere, so I'm going to keep it with me.
You do realize that if we have to run, that might be cumbersome.
Well, I can go invisible like Miss Flickerwicket said.
Okay, would you be willing to, at the very least, let Roderick carry that if we get into deep trouble?
No, I'm supposed to carry it.
I turn to the rest of the group and I say, guys, this could be a liability.
Yeah. The only time someone won't let you carry their overly large backpack is when it's full of body parts.
No, don't worry about any of that. You just lead the way. I'm sure we'll be fine. You'll be invisible. Just don't worry about it.
Yeah,
and like, kind of
I'm
look
not worrying
around,
about
like,
it, so you shouldn't worry about it. I'm really kind of worried about it, though.
Okay.
Lead the way.
So, as you make your way out of the lobby of the Crossroads, you open the door, and to your left, you notice not too far from the door a individual standing at attention. You notice the green skin and the kind of light underbelly of a bullywug, kind of standing at attention with that familiar uniform of Hung Catfish. And as soon as it sees the party, it looks at you and goes, and then holds out an envelope to the general group. You can see on the backside is a black seal and kind of streaked with green flicks of wax, and stamped on it is a stylized catfish.
Would you like to read it?
Yeah.
This is from Mr. Guru. I asked the bullywug.
That sounds like a yes. I'll read it. Thank you, Mr. Bullywug.
Oh, Mina's right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we'll read this later.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bullywug. That's thank you in Bullywug. I think. I'm not sure. All of the words kind of sound the same. I think it's the intention behind it.
We're on our way, but well, thank you for delivering this message.
And he kind of salutes awkwardly with his other hand as he puts it down, and he says, whoa, whoa, whoa. And as Sylvie talks to him in whatever that was, he kind of tilts his head and goes, whoa, whoa, and then kind of walks away. You see the kind of wet, slightly kind of slimy trail he leaves with his webbed feet. And he makes his way back toward the direction of the catfish that you remember.
Who has the actual letter?
Sylvie.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Council Mac. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, wow.
Good to see you in chat.
So while we're going, I'm gonna kind of like hang back enough for Mina to be able to like be out of earshot, and I'm gonna lean over to Sylvie and just like, go on, just read the letter as stealthily as possible so Mina doesn't see it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to do that.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check.
In the meantime, can I like walk up next to Mina and like distract her so that she can just like talk to her while she's leading the way?
How are you going to do that?
I'm gonna make conversation with her. Excuse guys. How was your trip over? Did you find the inn okay?
Yeah, no, I was like 20 feet away last night, so it wasn't hard to find again. No, it wasn't hard.
Oh, did you walk past? Where are you staying?
Oh, I mean, I'm at Mr. LeBlanc's mansion. That's where I'm staying.
I see. You stay in the mansion with him.
Yeah, no, he lets me stay for free. It's very nice of him for him to offer me a room to stay.
Has he always had that mansion here, or was it recently built?
Oh no, it's really, really, really old. It's like older than most of the town. That's where his whole family's from.
Oh, I see. I can definitely keep this conversation up for as long as possible.
Okay, make a deception check. Sylvie.
Do I get advantage because she's distracted?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Good, because that's better than my 11.
23, you're definitely advantaged.
16.
16, okay.
Thank you, Andy.
So, Vandris, you're distracting her. She's kind of in conversation. Sylvie, you take that opportunity to stealthily kind of crack that cat and fish seal, open it up, and pull out a letter. You find a very brief note and kind of thick black lines, not particularly good penmanship, but legible in common. And it says, hope you've had a chance to sleep on it. Any revelations in your dreams? Question mark. Albeit the catfish. Remy.
But I guess only you know that, right?
Yeah.
So we're just walking.
So I'm just gonna look at you guys and I'm gonna say, oh, you know, the salmon's on their schooner.
No, all right. I'm sure that's true.
Yeah, I just thought it was important that you know. And that salmon are a dream fish, so there's that. Stop laughing.
I'm very glad I'm hearing none of this.
I just say that out loud.
Okay.
And put it in my little pack.
Okay, so Mina guides you through. You kind of leave the new Arcadia Square, the kind of center of Agwe for the most part. As you leave the Magnolia Promenade, you start to enter into a district of the town that you have not previously been to, the Sun Steel Ward. And very similar to Little Yulong and similar to the Crawdad Quarter, as soon as you kind of enter this district, it still feels like Agwe, but the architecture, the vibe, everything feels incredibly unique and really of its own. You notice that the architecture employs a lot less wood, fewer pilings built into the ground, as it's built probably further away from the bayou, as a lot more kind of clay is used and brick. And you see that there are kind of tarps and kind of flags hanging all around. As you're entering deeper and deeper into the Sunsteel Ward, you're starting to realize, and you know that Agwe is a melting pot of all varieties of races. But this is probably the most densely diverse group. As you start to see kind of more and more as you go, and you still see a lot of humans, but of really kind of every creed and region. And you start to see Dragonborn, you remember from Ganji, but these are obviously not metallic in scale. They are chromatic. There you see a blue, a red, a white, green, walking around. You start to see, particularly more, you kind of start to notice figures standing on top of the roofs. As you look up and you see avian humanoid creatures. And you had seen one previously at the meeting. This seemed to have the head of a vulture. Most of these, you see the occasional one with a vulture head, but most of these kind of standing at attention, armed, have heads that look like raptors, like falcon-like heads. As you make your way through, you see kind of there are open air markets all over. Similar to Little Yulong, there's food and there's shops and carts selling their wares. all over the place. But it seems like down every corner there's a new row and a new nook and cranny that is kind of selling a different type of food and these same kind of rich senses and spices. And you realize that this is very much a town of spice. You experienced it in the Crawdad Quarter, you experienced it in Magnolia Commandant, you experienced it in Yulong, but this once again has its own identity. And there's something about all of this that kind of makes you think a little bit of Ganji. You kind of get the sense that Ganji would have felt home here, and that this is probably where a lot of the Nekbeshan immigrants and those that settled down are here. And so you make your way further and further, and as you start to know, you kind of had seen things like axe beaks being used in Little Yulong, and while there are a lot of horses used, you see the occasional axe beak being used as a beast of burden. You occasionally have to kind of dodge out of the way as kind of these looming large beasts, about the size of Rambi, but furry, canine-like. You kind of start to realize that these are very large hyenas, muzzled, and all of the ones that you see are being led by very tough-looking dragonborn. As you are making your way through, I would like everyone to make a perception check, please.
16.
16? Okay.
20.
14.
Okay. Anyone?
15.
15? Okay. So, you all start to notice as you're making your way through that these falcon-headed humanoids are kind of watching you as you're making your way through. You start to kind of see when like a pair of dragonborn, heavily armed, kind of seemingly patrolling the streets. Notice you. One kind of taps the other in the elbow and points, and kind of whispers in the ear of the other. And you get the sense that you are walking in very heavily guarded caravan turf. Caravan being the gang that basically runs this place. As you're kind of making your way through the town, Mina's kind of thinking to herself, well, it looks so much more differenter in the daytime. I guess I went this way, and she leads you away. And with that perception roll, I'll keep it. As you're kind of looking around, kind of keeping an eye out on some buildings, you notice a few establishments called, one is Nomad's Rest. It looks like an inn. There's something called the Purple Worm. And as you're making your way through, you notice kind of coming over one of the bazaars towards the center of the district. You've been walking for a while. You kind of start to see low wisps of like kind of charred, billowing smoke rising up as if something had been burning who knows how long ago.
Mina, are you finding your way all right? Can we do anything to help?
Well, I mean, I just gotta get my bearings here. There was a really cute shop where I remembered looking through a lot of glass flowers, and I thought they were really nice, and so I just wanted to, and that's where I got lost. So I think I can probably figure it out. And it's this way. It's this way. And she takes you, and you notice that as you're making your way through the district, that you're actually heading in the direction of these kind of this billowing seems to be dispersing of smoke and remnants of some kind of fire. And you get closer and you turn the corner, and immediately out of the corner of your eye you see a large collection of dragonborn, the occasional rough-looking human,
and a number of these avian humanoids, of both vulture head and falcon head, standing all around a building. Seemed to what was left of it had been made of clay and wooden beams for support, but was basically a hole in the ground, completely blown up. There are some kind of sizzling embers in its foundation, and there's a number of these giant hyenas kind of muzzled up, kind of keeping watch down this alleyway. And Mina points and I think says, I think we need to go past here.
Was this building exploded when you came through here?
No, that was not exploded when I came here.
Oh, good. Here we go again. Now, hold on, Mina. Can you just give us like 1 minute? You just stay right there and you just look around, but don't move. And I just need to talk to make sure that we do the whole hero thing.
Okay, I'll stand here. I'll stand here and I'll try to step into the corner so no one sees me.
She kind of shuffles away. You hear the kind of rattling on her backpack awkwardly as she shuffles off to the side.
I gather the group around and I say, remind me, did Guru mention anything or did you hear anything, Avantris, while you were down there about explosions or bombs or anything?
Out of character, I don't think so. I told them everything I heard, I just don't recall that.
Did we hear anything about, like, bombs or anything, or...?
Bombs? No. You did hear that the caravan was getting a bit of trouble. Do you recall that?
Was getting a bit of trouble?
Yes. There was a vigilante.
Yeah.
Oh, the vigilante. That's right.
Right. So we knew that there was a vigilante. But they didn't really mention anything about what the vigilante was doing. It was just, I assume they were freeing slaves, is what I assume was happening. But there was no description as to what was happening.
Correct.
They said we should be able to deal with one vigilante, like this is ridiculous, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, right, Avantris, that's totally right. There's a vigilante. And he must have blown up some kind of building. Do you think that we could go just quickly and investigate real quick?
I don't know if you remember, but we were kind of told that we weren't to get involved in the other gang stuff, and I think that going over and investigate their explosion is kind of considered getting involved, and they all know who we are now. We're not inconspicuous, so I don't think that's a good idea.
You're right. That's a perfect point. So, Avantris, why don't you just nonchalantly investigate?
I'm sorry. Did my pointy ears deceive me, or did you say Avantris?
Well, no. I think what he meant was Annulin, because she's the best one out of our entire group at hiding, and so she's going to be the one that's going to be the.
Oh, that's
Hold your
right.
horses.
That's
we
right.
discussed not even 12 hours ago that I was the fastest, the most deadly, and the most stealthy. This isn't even close. Look at my back. Okay, look at.
Well, I mean, you did do a fine job last night, but one time doesn't make a something. What is it? One
Been
time
on
doesn't
the
make a
road for
fine.
the better part of a year or more, and I have done so many amazing things that the poets can't even write about them. There's too many.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, if we're gonna do this, we should send the best. And, if you think you can do it, then prove me wrong.
I mean, am I just gonna go over there and snoop around, or is this a job for the old rusty, trusty disguise kit?
I don't know. I imagine that the person who would be the best at this would know the answer to that question.
How much time do we have here, guys? It's gonna take me time to put on the old mustache, and go Groucho Marxing around, if you know what I mean.
No, we don't need to waste a whole lot of time. I just meant, like, while we're going through, you just nonchalantly look like you're not doing anything. Meanwhile, and try to investigate if you can.
Okay, don't tell me how to do my job, okay? Alright. I kind of, like, start walking away from the group towards the large hyenas and the people who are blocking the way, and just kind of looking around, being not looking at anybody, just kind of like looking down like an alleyway that they're blocking, right?
Yeah, there's like kind of this side alley, yeah. And Mina had remembered that she had gone through this alley in order to get where she was going.
I'm gonna just kind of walk over there and just try to see how close I can get and look to see if anybody stops me as I approach, just nonchalantly looking around and heading towards the alley.
As you approach, you see that there is a large, literally a giant hyena, muzzled, but it seems very clear that this thing can be yanked off by the green dragonborn that is holding it. And there is a blue dragonborn standing beside his compatriot. And as soon as you walk over, he steps up and he says, "This is closed."
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to assume that I didn't know what was going on over here. What happened?
There was an accident that happened.
So no one can go down this way.
Not until sundown. Or whenever we can clean this up. It is too dangerous.
Oh, I see. Well, just, we're not from around here, obviously, you can probably tell. One of my group had wandered this direction the other day, and they found this really great little place, and we were just trying to find it again, and I didn't know if maybe we'd be able to head that direction. Is there another way through or around?
Who is asking? This is caravan business.
Oh, no. I don't know what that means. I don't want to get involved in anyone's business. I'm just trying to see the city. And I thought we could go back. But look, if we can't, no big deal. I understand. I just thought I'd ask and try to get a better understanding of what was going on.
Make a persuasion check.
21.
So as you say that, his eyes kind of narrow and he tilts his head a little bit and looks. And then he looks over your shoulder and he points at the rest of the party and says, "Are they with you?"
Oh, them. You mean those people right there, like the dwarf, the gnome, and the wood elf?
Yes, that is what I said, High Elf.
Oh yeah, we're all together.
You see for a moment as he kind of gets this look of realization in his eyes and then groans. Ugh. Give me one moment. You must get through this alleyway.
If we could, I mean, it would be very helpful. We really appreciate it.
Come in close. He reaches to put a clawed hand on your shoulder. The green dragonborn, by the way, is just completely just glaring you daggers as the blue is talking to you. Leans in and he says, "You are friends with Guru."
We are, but we've been told to kind of keep it all on the down low, and we don't want to cause any trouble.
Make another persuasion check.
It's plus 12, so I got a 20.
Good.
It's plus 12. No big deal.
NBD.
And what do you know of the Will-O-Wisp?
To be honest, that's not anything that rings a bell to me. Completely sincere.
And you are heroes, yes?
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
But you are not being heroes freeing slaves while you are in Agwe, are you?
Listen, I'm not going to discuss the morality of the situation. I've just been told not to get involved in anybody's business, and I've been adhering to that so far.
One moment. He walks back to another blue dragonborn that's seems to be a bit taller, a bit wider, and whispers into its ear, and they kind of have a discussion. Very brief. And he returns, and he looks at you and waves the green dragonborn away. He kind of yanks, and this hyena, it's kind of thrashing and gnashing, and is pulled away, freeing the space as leaving enough room for you to pass. And he leans in close again, and he says, "If you know anything of the Will-O-Wisp, or you are helping the Will-O-Wisp, I can tell you no hero survives long in Agwe." And he
okay, that's very clear. To be fair, I promise you that there's nothing that we could be up to that Guru wouldn't already know, so let's just leave it at that.
Very well. And he steps aside.
I'll turn to the group and I'll motion them to come with and point to Mina and do the same.
Oh, all right. That's more than I expected. Mina, are you ready? Let's go.
That's fine. Are the scary men gonna hurt us?
No, we'll protect
Don't
you.
talk to them.
Don't
Just
say a
nod
word.
and
We're all
walk
going to
through.
stay very close, and we're not going to cause any trouble.
Okay, that's
And I'll grab her hand.
okay. That's fine.
You grab her hand, and she kind of squeezes your hand tight. And her hand, honestly, despite being human, is not that much larger than yours. And she kind of grabs it tight, and you walk her through. And as you're walking through this small alleyway, this building that had seemed to have been tucked when it had still stood, it seemed to have been tucked away into kind of this back alleyway that you're walking past. And as you're walking through, you notice that the smoke is still billowing up, and that there's the same kind of ember, but there's this kind of strange bluish-green hue kind of in the smoldering ruins. As you walk by, there's dragonborn after dragonborn after dragonborn. Of all of the 5 primary colors that you're aware of, not the actual color theory primary, but the main 5 colors that you're aware of, predominantly blue dragonborn. As they all kind of keep their eyes on you, hands on weapons, some of them not even moving. The falcon-headed Aarakocra, I'm going to stop saying avian humanoids. One of you would probably know an
Avian-type humanoid.
Aarakocra, the falcon-headed, are standing on the tops of the buildings all along. As the sun the morning sun is beating down, it's almost getting close to near noon, as their shadows are being cast onto you as they watch you intently. All of them with short bows, crossbows, javelins. You make your way.
As we pass, can I just look to try to see if I can get any kind of detail beyond the color?
How about you make a perception check there, Rodak?
Oh, shite. Ooh, that's not good. I don't want to waste. Let's go try 11.
11. You look in, and you see that this building seemed to have 2 layers, a basement built into it that was completely exposed and blown out. As you see this kind of strange bluish greenish hue seems to be in the corners particularly of the building. And you look inside, and you're able to catch a glimpse of marks on the wooden beams down in this basement area. Little pock marks, kind of chunked into the side of these wooden structures. And you notice on the ground of this basement chains in various states of repair, being broken, or whole.
I don't whisper anything to anybody because we're completely surrounded, but I'll just continue walking.
Okay. You continue walking, and you hear some whispering, and I would like kind of a marching order, please.
I'm towards the back with
Vandris,
Mina.
you'd be in front, probably.
Well, I guess Mina needs to be in the front with Vandris.
Sure.
Because she's leading the way.
And then Annulin, where you want to be, and I'll just take the other
So
one.
I'll just be right behind Vandris because I'm holding her hand trying to get
I'll
her
bring
down.
up the rear.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I'll be in front.
check.
You would.
You said me make a
Yes,
perception check?
Annulin, please. Whoever's in the back, please make
Yes, that's Annulin.
Of course, the ranger's in the back.
17.
Okay. You see one of the vulture-headed Aarakocra kind of lean up to kind of like he's kind of hunched. His eyes are kind of wide, and he's if a bird can grin, he is. And it's kind of you see like a tongue kind of running over his lips, and he points at the party, and you can kind of hear the rest of you just kind of hear whispers. But Annulin, you just kind of hear very faintly. The will-o-wisp was small like that one. And pointed in Sylvie's direction. And you notice it was a red dragonborn and nodded and kind of turns to watch the party as you continue on your way. And you make your way. There's kind of a hyena at the other end of this alley, and they all yanks it as it's yanked back. And
when I hear him whisper that, I'm not gonna say anything, but I want to look directly at him and like make eye contact and just like watch him as I walk past.
Make an intimidation check.
Oh, shit.
I got an 8, so I'm assuming a little bit of dust gets in my eye.
So Annulin walks by and is trying to do like a heard you talking shit, and like as you're walking by, suddenly the sun gets in your eyes. Like, oh gosh! And the Aarakocra kind of tilts its head and like points up to the Dragonborn and points back and kind of gives like a I don't trust that, and so you awkwardly kind of continue. You see Dragonborn kind of hesitate a little bit and kind of move its hand kind of near its side and then withdraw it as you pass. And so you've made it past this smoldering building.
As we're walking, I want to wait until the crowd of people, these caravan people, starts to dwindle, right? And we're not like within earshot of everyone.
I would say another 5-10 minutes, and suddenly you see that there's a lot of kind of watchmen out and around. The density of the falcon-headed Aarakocra is fewer and far between, and there are fewer patrols. So you're able to kind of get into an area where you're pretty comfortable that you wouldn't be hurt.
All right, as we're walking, I just kind of like motion everybody to come in, and I say, the guy the Dragonborn that I spoke to get us into this alley, he mentioned the will-o-wisp, and I believe that's the name of the vigilante that they're hunting.
Oh. Did you call Mina in as well?
Yeah, she's there. If she knows, she knows. I mean, I don't think I'm not gonna hide it from her. It's just what he told me.
Okay.
What do I know about will-o-wisps? Like the actual will-o-wisps?
I would say you would not even need to roll for that. You would know that a will-o-wisp is from your understanding, is a mote, a wisp of light out on the bayou, out in the swamp, that legend says, and that you've seen, that people have seen, that is warned about, that the will-o-wisp is actually a malicious spirit that will guide wary travelers to their doom and to drown into the Whippoorwallow. And it is a very common common thing to warn anyone that travels the Whippoorwallow to be wary of the will-o-wisps.
I'll explain that to everyone.
So I don't see how a tiny little mote of light could do something like that unless it had an overly large backpack and a pitchfork. But then I don't know how it would carry it because it is just a small mote of light.
So I think it might be like a stage name or some kind of metaphor or something like that. Allegory, perhaps.
Oh.
So you don't know...
So you don't think that they mean an actual will-o-wisp? You think they call somebody or something or a group of people the will-o-wisp?
That was the impression that I got.
Oh, well then I am not reading this situation properly at all. Per usual. Continue.
Well,
no, that was it.
Oh.
I think, so you've never heard of any kind of vigilante or anyone go by the name Will-o-Wisp, so this must be pretty new.
Well, that's a pretty rad name for a vigilante. Like, if I were gonna, no, I'd just call myself Sylvie the Slayer. But if I wasn't gonna call myself that, I might choose Will-o-Wisp because that's pretty badass.
Annulin, did you tell us about what the vulture guy said? No?
I did not.
Oh. Alright, well, I think we best get on and perhaps later we can investigate and learn more.
Yeah.
Mina, can you lead the way, please?
Yeah. Okay, I can lead the way. Yeah, sure, of course.
Do you think we're getting close?
Yeah, no, I think that there's one or two more alleys that I turned down that I wasn't sure about, but I think we're on the right track.
Before we continue, I was thinking, does it make a lot of sense for us to be doing this when people commonly know who we are? Thank you for the raid!
Thank you for the raid,
Thank you, Anti-Flame.
Thank you so much.
Nice
Welcome,
of you.
everyone.
Welcome. So I was thinking, does it make a lot of sense for us to be just wandering around? Like, people know who we are and what we look like. So, I don't know. It makes me a little nervous. And, I don't normally like to show off, except that I do. And so I was thinking I could use something I got recently, where I can change the way we all look, and we could just look like Dragonborns is. Like, maybe not like Ganji, because I think that they fight with the red ones, but maybe like red, blue, or green ones.
I've seeming.
Can you describe that spell? Sorry.
Yeah, so if I were not inside of the game and able to describe it as if it were a game, I would say that it is
a spell allows you to change the appearance of any number of creatures that you can see within range. You give each target you choose a new illusory appearance. An unwilling thank you for the follow, Anti-Flame. You're the best. An unwilling target can make a charisma saving throw, and if it succeeds, it's unaffected by the spell. It disguises physical appearances as well as clothing, armor, weapons, and equipment. You can make each creature seem a foot shorter or taller and appear thin, fat, or in between. I can't change the body type, so we must change a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs. So, like, I can't give you, I can't make you look like a spider, because spiders have 8 limbs. The extended illusion is up to you. The spell lasts for the duration, which is 8 hours, unless I use my action to dismiss it. It fails to hold up physical inspection.
So...
Yeah.
You mentioned that it fails to hold up to physical inspection.
Yeah, that's like if someone were to come and touch us. But like if we were just like walking by, etc., we wouldn't be drawing attention if we looked similar to all the people that normally walk by in this area.
Well, it'd be a trade-off of the protection that we're granted being who we are.
Yeah,
or just blending in.
My concern is that they're watching us and they're gonna go, oh, did you see them over by that weird barn house carrying pitchforks? I bet they're doing bad things.
But they'll be fine with a bunch of Dragonborn by the barn, opening some kind of cellar door and all marching down.
Oh yeah, I don't know, I didn't think it through all the way, I guess.
I'll let you vote while I get my coffee.
He says as he makes a coffee out of midair.
Hey, I think your idea is a good one, Sylvie. I'm nervous to try any kind of deception, and you have to understand that that's coming from me, I'm all about the deception. I worry that we're in such a precarious situation. I don't know what the best course of action is here.
Yeah, my biggest fear, I think, is that, oh no, we probably should have done this earlier and made Mina look different, because if they report back to Guru that we've been wandering around with LeBlanc's assistant, that might not go over so well for us. But we didn't think about that sooner, and we've already been seen with her, so I think that is what that is.
Well, I think honestly, the truth is that Mina here has information that could lead to the apprehension of this creature that we're hunting, and Guru knows that we're looking for it, and that we're looking for information. So I think that take the same path that we've taken, and we speak honestly about it. And if he asks, we tell him that Mina told us she saw something suspicious, and we were chasing a lead that could potentially lead to the vampire, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, because yeah, no, I just think that's a good idea. I got lost in thought for a minute thinking about how cool it would be to go by Sylvie the Slayer and be kind of like you, Avantris, like a rogue. I could have little daggers, but on me they'd look like big swords, and I could like cut a bitch. You know what I mean?
Well, if this whole hero business doesn't work out and we have to start bounty hunting again, I'll give you my daggers and you can join the team.
Will one of your arms be attached to one of your daggers?
No. If I only have one arm, I would probably be much less effective as a bounty hunter.
True. Okay, well, whatever. It's at least a nice compromise. We can continue.
Okay. So, you continue onward, and Mina kind of looks up at you and looks nervously and says,
I don't think bounty hunting is a good line of work that I would find very fun.
I think that's a good reason that you work in a shop, then.
Yeah, that's why I went to go work in a shop, because even being on a farm was too dangerous. I don't want to get kicked by a horse.
And there are lots of pitchforks on a farm.
There are a lot of pitchforks on a farm, yeah. I don't want to get stabbed accidentally.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
It's terrible.
Okay.
How much farther do you think we have to go?
I don't think it's much farther now. Okay.
and she guides you through kind of alleyways,
And I think I made a wrong turn here.
and goes down another one, down another one. You're getting very deep into the Sunsteel Ward at this point. And you kind of start, as you're getting deeper and deeper into the district, you're starting to get into this area that doesn't seem to be a whole lot of foot traffic. You're kind of used to the hustle and bustle of these throngs of marketplaces and bazaars and street markets and all of these amazing sights and sounds. And it's starting to die down more and more. Even the Aarakocra, the falcon-headed ones, are starting to kind of disperse. And this is very far back. It seems to be even where a lot of the enforcers of the caravan aren't going. And as you're making your way through, you kind of pass one building, and you realize that you start to hear like a lot of kind of growling and grunting and snickering. And it's like 1, 2, 3 more dozen, or at least. As you start to kind of pass around, and you kind of, this smell of putrid, rotting flesh hits your nostrils, overwhelm the dissipating scent of the populated district behind you. And you kind of get the sense that you're approaching where a lot of these hyenas are being kept. And then immediately Mina stops you and raises up her hands.
That's definitely it.
She points across the way from this. Seems to be what used to be, similar theme here, what used to be maybe a stable or a barn. It's hard to tell. There are several frames and an odd wall or two standing, but it seems as most of it has collapsed in on itself.
Does it have the bluish green?
No, it does not. This seems like it has been in this state for who knows how long.
So it's more like abandoned and kind of left in disarray.
Seems like an abandoned and disarray. And Mina says,
This is definitely it. See how it's abandoned and spooky?
Are the hyenas around it?
They're
currently?
across the street.
Okay.
So you kind of get the stench, and you kind of look aside, and you start to see kind of, it's not like a classic stable where there's like an outside yard and all these. They're heavy iron bars all along this building, mostly stone, which is very unique to this district. And you kind of start to see the flash of gray or of brown fur, black spots as you kind of smell the flesh. You start to hear, you occasionally hear as you get the sense that giant hyenas are fighting with each other, all kind of pent up. And you see a single dragonborn kind of on the corner of where this alley meets the alley where this ruined barn is up ahead. And it just kind of, he's kind of looking into the window, looking at these hyenas, and kind of get the sense he has a number of chains kind of wrapped around his arm, and a number of scars. One side of his face is particularly mangled, a blue dragonborn, missing an eye. You get the sense that it's probably been mauled by some beast.
I turn to the group, and I guess I'll turn to Mina. Now, how you say that there's some kind of cellar under that barn up there?
Yeah, no, it's on the other side, around the other side of the barn. Yeah, for sure.
Are we able to get down into the cellar being unseen? Like, is it out in the open, or is it relatively?
So there's the.
So you get to say, so basically you're on this corner. There's like the dragonborn standing here. Actually, I'll just draw it out.
Whoa, Dobby.
Where's Dobby? Here, can I borrow your red marker?
Oh, please do.
So, basically, you guys are coming out here, corner, alleyway. So, hyena building is right here. Yeah, it's a little bit far. And then barn. So, like Dragonborn dude is looking in. You guys are like about here. Okay. And Mina points out ruined barn. Like this is the barn. And the cellar, she is saying, is right here.
Can you put Avantris where we are currently?
Avantris is there.
Alright, well, gang, let's try to just nonchalantly walk by this guy and walk down the street like we belong here, and then we'll just hopefully, when this Dragonborn is not looking, we just make a quick left, and we kind of duck behind the barn.
There's one problem with that plan.
What?
I don't know the difference between my left and my right.
Well, just follow the direction that I go.
Oh, okay, that's a better explanation of what to do. Thank you.
Alright. So I guess we'll do that. We'll try to nonchalantly walk past this Dragonborn guy.
Okay. You start to walk by like you own the place, and everyone roll a deception check, please.
Wow.
Well, this is a group deception check.
14. That's almost as low as I can possibly get.
Oh, jeez.
I got a 13.
I got a 7.
I also got a 7.
Okay. So, you kind of walk in like you own the place. Immediately as you walk by, this Dragonborn turns with his one good eye and looks at you and eyes you up and down, doesn't say anything, but seems to be perplexed at your presence. Not just to see people, you get the sense, but just to even, not just to see like, but to see, not even to see outsiders, but just to see people back in this side of the district. And he doesn't interrupt you. Turns back, looking into this kennel, it seems, and you kind of see next to him. You kind of, as you get a better vantage point, he reaches down and grabs this bone of covered in flesh. It's kind of hard to tell what it is, and he chucks it through the bars, and immediately, and they are just fighting. And you get the sense that there is just an uproarious fight with these giant hyenas as they're trying to eat this, and the Dragonborn keeps chucking it in. You make your way, and Mina's in the lead, very nervously, kind of keep looking over her shoulder every time. She takes a few steps. She takes another step, and she points. There it is. And you look side of this barn, kind of on the one good wall that's still kind of standing. You see, built into the ground. You're pretty far off away from the bayou enough now where there's actually able to be solid ground to build basements. And there is a cellar door, it seems, built in. Compared to the rest of the structure, it seems in less disrepair. Large iron bar across it, kind of built up, heavy wooden doors closed.
Does it seem to have any kind of like locking mechanism holding the bar in place? Or is
Hey,
it just
that's
like...
my line.
I asked first. Yes, we've proven who's the best at this. Once and for all.
No, Avantris, I think Annulin's got this one.
You know, I think that's part of the reason we always ask her first.
That's
She's
right.
the one to ask the
I reach into
pertinent
my
questions.
pack, I pull out a lockpick set, and I put it in her hand, and I say, good luck.
Now, Annulin, tell us what you see.
There's clearly a padlock on it.
Take a step back, and I cross my arms, and I say, go ahead, genius.
Can I, out of character, can I try to pick a lock?
Yeah, you can certainly try.
I mean, okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna reach over really quickly. I'm gonna grab her hand and I'm gonna go,
Annulin can do what Annulin can do. She can do the things that Avantris cannot do. So go over there and do the thing he cannot do. I have faith in you.
and I'm gonna give her bardic inspiration.
This DC better be like 21 plus.
Okay.
And it's a D6. You get a D6 additional.
Excellent.
So just to note, she shouldn't have proficiency with the lockpick set.
No, she does not.
Okay. I do want to just check and see if I see any like traps on the door,
Make an investigation.
like mechanical trap.
And
As she does this, I take an extra large step back.
Would you say investigation?
Yeah.
11.
It seems really great. No traps. Not at all.
It seems really great.
Really great.
No, before we unlock this, but just real quick, I know before you try, I just want everyone to realize that not Hissy, what's her name? Taiki could very well be down here, sleeping for the day.
If that's the case, we don't have the mirror. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I suppose.
Yeah, and if that's the case, the great thing is, it's not like she can leave because the sun's out and shit. And she's
That's
a
also very
nighttime
true.
Dracula.
That's a fair point.
So we just stake her in the heart, and then I get a leather jacket with Slayer Sylvie written on the back, and I flip up my collar, and I get a flip in my hair, and I walk around, and maybe I get a handlebar mustache. Yeah?
Angelin, go ahead.
Alright, I'm going to try to pick the padlock.
I put
Not
on-
remove it, just pick it.
You make a straight dex check, so add your dex modifier and nothing else.
Hold on, I always do, that's the saving throws. Okay.
Should be plus
Dex
5.
check, +5. Come on, baby.
I hope this is a 1.
It's a 19.
The bullshit!
A 19. As your...
Wait, I didn't do my bardic inspiration.
Don't touch that die. Don't touch this dude.
14 plus 5 is 19. Get over there. Get. Okay, +2, so 21.
Yeah?
Continue.
Yeah, so you see this rusty padlock, Annulin, and Vandris, it pains you how awkwardly and wrongly she is fiddling with this.
Rhoda, look at how well she's doing. This is why we call her the best.
That's right.
And it
I'm cringing.
it seems as if she's just trying, like she has no idea what she's doing, and suddenly, and you hear a and the padlock opens.
I run up to the padlock and I take a look and I go, oh, this thing's completely rusted through.
Seems fine to me. I don't know what you go on and on about. That was pretty easy.
All I'm going to say is that if I had to assign a number value to this lock, it would have been like a 3. God, we could have kicked the lock off the hinges here, please.
Great job, Annulin.
And I turn around and I'm wearing the bugbear mustache she'd been wearing when she was playing Herbert.
Good job, Annulin. I am so proud of you.
Oh, God.
I have a cursory gag reflex just seeing it.
Well, that brings up a good point, and I look at the padlock. Does it look like a fresh, nice padlock in comparison to the dilapidated state of the
Make
barn?
an investigation check. Why don't you?
That might be fine.
While he's doing that,
12.
I'm gonna just like mic drop the lockpicking tools and walk to the.
Hey, be careful with those. Jesus.
Watch the paint job!
Got him.
They land on the ground, and Vander's like, "No, my lock picking. Watch the paint job."
Don't sound like that.
The spirit is there. And as you run up, scoop up your lockpicking tools, Annulin kind of walks away. These pixelated sunglasses slide down onto her face.
Roasted!
As you're all standing there, Mina is stepping a good 15 feet back and is looking at you with wide eyes, her large spectacles making them look like saucers. And she kind of points and says, I'm going to stay up here. I don't want to go down there.
Well, I mean, I think that's fine. Going into a dark basement definitely sounds much worse than being kidnapped and tortured by a bunch of dragonborn who then tie you into a basement and sell you into slavery. So if you'd like to stay up here by yourself, I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. That sounds fine.
Okay, cool.
The point was you're coming with us. You don't
No,
really have
it's
a
fine.
choice.
I can leave Lumi with her, and she'll let us know when and if she's sold into slavery.
I'm not going to risk it. No, it's unacceptable. You're coming with us.
No, I'm not going down there. No.
Oh, I hate to have to do this.
Leave Lumi. No, it's fine. Leave Lumi.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah,
I could
it'll be
make
fine.
her come.
No. None of that. I don't think Alphoins would appreciate it that much if we tried to
but I
challenge
also
his
don't think he
shopkeeper.
would appreciate it if some dragonborn stroll up and sell her into slavery.
I'll be fine. I was fine last night. I'll be fine now.
Just leave Lumi. Just have Lumi
Just so
find
you
us.
know, there's an invisible entity just swirling around your head right now, blowing raspberries, going like this, because she thinks that you're a chump. I don't feel that way. She feels that way. So she's a pixie. She's going to do that when we go downstairs. And if you die horribly, she'll let us know right away.
Did we get any information on Rodek's investigation role in the lock?
Oh, so what did you
You
get?
got a 12.
Sorry,
I got a 12. Yeah.
It looks a little rusty, but it definitely looks a bit newer, we'll say, than the state of the building.
Like I said, a rusted piece of junk.
Annulin's just leaning up against the building, one foot over the other one, arms crossed, cool cat.
Being on the bar,
1 foot up.
smoking a cigarette.
Well, I guess
A piece of
since you
straw.
did such a good job, would you like to lead the way and scout ahead?
No, I think I've done everything. Maybe you should show us how good you are at checking for
so
traps.
telling us that they were scared. They're scared of the dark, scary basement.
Annulin never scared. Isn't that the way it goes?
First off,
That was good. That was a
say
good
it
one.
with enough
Hold on.
panache, let's be realistic here. Avantris is literally never scared.
Oh,
Yeah, try it, Annulin. I bet you'd sound phenomenal.
Probably better than Vandris.
I'm sure, but you're better at everything than Vandris.
I know. Gosh.
well.
I take the lock off the door, I throw it behind me, and I open the door and I walk in.
Mina has to dodge out of the way as the lock almost hits her head. Okay, please be careful, please be careful, please be careful. As you open the double door of the cellar. And as soon as you do that, you open it, and although the sun is approaching high noon, you look in, and it's incredibly dark. And it seems that there's some wooden stairs down into the earth.
Oh no, you mistook me. I don't even hesitate.
Oh,
And straight in.
you just walk straight in. You step walking down into the darkness, further and further down as you see that.
I'm following behind so he doesn't get too far ahead.
You follow behind as each step that you take is loud and creaking as basically it's a narrow hallway with a wooden kind of wall all the way down to the stairs. And Vannis, as you're stepping down, you make your way about halfway down the stairs. Make a perception check for me. $15. As you make your way down the stairs, you see that the stairs come to an end in an equally dark room. And right at the landing, you notice this is an unfinished basement, kind of rough dirt floor. At the base, you see a figure standing. Seems to be humanoid. Human. Male, not much older than his teens. Standing, facing the corner of the cellar. One hand holding a pitchfork. Staring, just looking at the cellar. Your cavalier entrance immediately draws his attention. A head slowly turns in your direction, looking up the stairwell. Eyes open. Blue. Shimmering blue across both of his eyes. It just looks at you, and he opens his mouth. They are here!
Oh, damn it.
They're here!
Stop him!
They're here!
I run down and try to chop his head off or something.
You sprint down. I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Holy shit.
Ew.
Damn, that's not good.
Pardon me. 20 to 25? 15 to 20?
19.
19, annually. 10 to 15?
10.
12.
13.
You gotta be kidding me. Okay. With that, you're all running down the stairs, and I would say that both Rhoda, you and Vannis, managed to get down at the end as this boy with the pitchfork starts to, he's like yelling, "They are here! They are here! They are here!" And you start to see, and your dark vision illuminates an entire cellar. Barrels occasionally across the side of the room. It's incredibly dark. And these long wooden boxes. Many of them seem to be kind of sticking up with farm equipment, occasional horseshoes hanging about. Could you please reveal the battle map?
Oh my god, where's... I want Daddy.
I don't know. Oh, Daddy's back there.
Yeah.
It's like a little room.
As you make your way down the stairs,
Thank you.
you see, you turn and you see four corners of the room, and in each corner, the same, a young man of a similar age, all holding pitchforks, staring into the corner, Vannis, as you sprint down, and they all turn. They are here! They are here! They are here! Okay. Annual, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to fire an arrow at the one directly, towards the bottom of the stair in that corner.
Okay.
So, would she be in...
You know which one I'm talking about?
How far down the stairs would she need
This
to
one?
be to shoot at this guy?
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. I would go down to the base of the stairs.
We can't see.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I
I
would
don't-
say that you, Rodek, and Vanders are here.
I'm gonna put it over
Yeah,
there.
however you guys want to do it.
That would make it easier.
I would say that this is the situation. Feel free. He's the guy at the end, right down there.
Okay, so I would fire 2 arrows, one at him and one at the guy in the corner, across from the stairs, aiming at their throats.
Okay. So you're at number shooting. Yeah. You do that. Go ahead.
One is a 26 and one is a 27.
They both hit.
A 7 is the first one.
7 is the first one to number what?
The one that's straight ahead. I don't know.
That's number 2. 7 damage. Okay.
And second damage is 9.
9.
Across from the stairs.
Across the 4 in the far corner there, Anulin.
This is 4.
Yeah, like across the diagonal from the stairs.
So you said 6 to that or 11? How much damage?
9 was the second damage.
9. So you run down the stairs right above Avantris and Rodak, and you fire as they're all turning, and they're kind of they finish chanting. They are here. As an arrow sinks into the first one, you see blood spilling out of his abdomen. No flinching, no reaction to pain. As the same blue look in all of their eyes. They almost look mindless. As the other one sinks in, they kind of slump forward a little bit as they are moving in your direction. As soon as that happens, Rodak, you notice something catch your vision as an arrow, glowing red, fires directly at you. That is going to hit. And I need, it is going to hit directly into your shoulder, dealing... apologies here. That is going to be 7 points of piercing damage. And immediately, as soon as the arrow hits you, it explodes. Anulin, I think that might be all of you take damage. Hold on.
Dexterity check?
Nope. If it hits. Everyone around you, it is so instant. You all take 10 points of force damage as magic blasts out. And you all turn and you look, hanging from the ceiling, connected to this rickety wooden ceiling, is Taiki. She opens her eyes, blood red. I didn't think you'd find me this quick! And she pulls another arrow out of her quiver and fires at you, Avantris. And that's gonna hit. Oh wow. Dealing 7 points of piercing damage to you. And... this is not Monsters 2.
Big Bad.
She's hanging from the ceiling 15 feet up. Okay. Avantris, you're up.
She's physically above us.
Yes.
How high is the ceiling?
Ceiling is probably 15 feet up. So she's hanging down, so yeah.
And you said she's in the center of the room?
She is, if you see her token, Rich, if you want to...
sorry.
She's in the back.
Oh, okay. I see
She's
it. I see it.
hanging from the wall by her feet. She's hanging from the ceiling.
Hold on 1 second. My move speed is 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, there's like a, is that like a table?
Those are all large, wooden, storage boxes.
So if that box is 30 feet away, can I get on top of it and try to attack her?
I could say you can make an acrobatics check to see if you can get up with that motion, yeah.
Alright, then I'm gonna sprint at the box, try to get up on top of it, and make an attack at her. I'm gonna attempt it.
Rich.
So...
He wants to get up on the box. He's sprinting.
Okay, make an acrobatics check.
11.
11. That's enough. You leap up onto the box, and as you land on the lid, it slides a little bit, and you look down, and it seems despite all of these other boxes being filled with farm equipment coming out from all the lids, this one seems to be empty. The one that's right next to Taiki. And you go in, and with your rapier, make an attack roll.
All of a sudden I'm rolling like, ooh, 13.
13. She, you stand on this box, your rapier shoots out, and just she moves her body, whoosh, and just effortlessly dodges out of the way. And she looks at you and she says, I thought you were better than this, Avantris. And with that, she then reaches down and slashes you with her claw. You realize that her nails are incredibly long. A disadvantage because you have your necklace. If you're wearing
I was gonna say yes. So I have the wayward albatross.
It seems as if she slashes at your illusory form, and you tap your necklace right before she hits you, and she misses, and she's like looking around confused as if she did it, and that's that. Okay, Rook, you're up.
Would I be able to get? Would this be in the way, like difficult terrain?
Yeah, that's a barrel.
I would. Oh. Yeah, I was here.
Yeah, you can do that.
Or I can. Yeah. So I'm gonna go here to this guy, and I'm going to, I guess, attack twice.
Okay.
First attack's gonna be a 20 something.
Okay. Hits.
Let's just roll that. Roll that. Good. 6. 11 damage.
11 damage.
Hold on, no, more than that. More than that, sorry. Where's my sheet? So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 damage for the first hit.
17 damage. Your axe swings into his gut. For the first time, he slumps forward as blood. His guts are already spilling out.
20 to hit.
Hits. Full damage.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage.
15. You swing again. His guts are already starting to spill out, and you just follow up once again, right in the abdomen. And he, as soon as that second blow of your axe hits, it coughs up blood. All of a sudden, the blue vanishes from his eyes. Rhoda, you see staring back at you the scared, confused eyes of a young man. And he's kind of holding his guts, and he says, "Why?" And he collapses to the ground dead.
Let's not kill them, let's knock them out! I yell that.
You monster!
Speaking of that, so number 1 is dead.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones convene. Pitchforks raised. We'll say they're just going to sprint this way. Their pitchforks are raised as they are heading in your direction. And one is going to make an attack on you, Avantris.
At disadvantage?
Disadvantage. You're lucky. That's a natural 20.
Wow.
That's still it's gonna miss as he stabs your illusory form. As you manage to dodge out of the way of this, and the rest of them are unable to actually reach. The other one is dead. As with that, she looks and Taiki looks at you and says, "Come here, Avantris," and she once again swings at her with a claw. And you get a natural 1. Okay. She kind of stumbles a little bit. One boot actually kind of falls from the ceiling, and then she kind of slings it back up. Sylvia, you're up.
Richie, can you move me my full speed 25 towards the middle of the room? No, towards the middle of the room.
Oh, sorry. 1, 2, like there?
Yeah, like that's a good spot.
That's fine.
So now that everything is within, I'm placing a 40-foot cube
in
the middle of the room, so it should hit every single thing there. It is only going to affect the enemies I'm casting slow. And so what that does is I alter time around up to 6 creatures of my choice in a 40-foot cube within range. Each target has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw or they're affected. And the wisdom, it's a 19. Is the DC.
19. It looks, and so, okay, number 2, number 4. Number 4 and number 3 fail. Number 2's managed to succeed. It looks like Taiki is being affected by the slow magic, and she kind of channels, her eyes glow red, and she sloughs it off.
So they have a -2 penalty to their AC and to dexterity saving throws. They cannot use reactions. On its turn, it can use either an action or a bonus action, not both. And regardless of its abilities or magic items, it can't make more than 1 melee or ranged attack during its turn.
Okay.
If it attempts to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action, it has to roll a d20. On an 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn, and the creature must use its action on that turn to complete the spell. If it can't, the spell is wasted.
Okay. So number 2 and number 4 are slow.
Okay.
Okay. Number 3 is not. I said that right? Yeah. Okay. So you start to see these stable boys kind of with their pitchforks slow down as you kind of start to feel like the air around you starts to just feel slower, and you kind of feel like you're almost caught up in the sheer magical burst that Sylvie does, and then just pause for just a second, like in a fucking movie, and then things start to speed up again.
So I jump down, and I scamper in, and I go, now hold on, and I cast slow. And I wink over at Rodak.
As I'm like watching this poor guy die horribly.
And then I'm going to look up at Avantris with my bonus action, and I'll say, you may not be the best of us, but you're at least kind of cute. Next time she hits you or boops you on your snoot, I hope that you don't take damage and that this die really helps. That's really all I've got. If you get hurt, yelp. And then I'm going to give him Bardic Inspiration.
Taiki looks at you as soon as you slow everything down, and she kind of, the fact that she channeled this vampire magic already, she like is looking concerned, and she says, I knew you were going to be a problem, and she uses her last legendary action of the turn to, without producing an opportunity attack, to just start running across the ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, into this corner.
You said without an opportunity attack?
Correct.
Damn.
She's a vampire. Annual, you're up.
Okay, I am going to stay where I am on the stairs.
Got it.
And I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on Taiki.
Okay, you channel the power, the hunting, the power of the Rangers that you've learned, and you zero in on this vampire.
Okay, and then I'm going to make 2 arrow attacks on her.
Go for it.
Okay. That is a 28 and a 27.
Both hit, yeah. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, so that is D6, and then the second attack would be an extra D8. 10.
Just give me the total damage when you're done.
38 total.
38. You fire both arrows, despite her running into the corner of the room, her fangs exposed, her hair, her black hair kind of flowing as she's running away with her long bow. It's basically bow on bow as you are shooting arrows at each other. Both hit. You see as soon as the magical nature of your arrows, as soon as they leave the strong bow, sink in and sizzle her flesh. And you kind of hear this burning. No blood comes out, but she is like clearly wounded. 38 damage, you said, right? Yep, okay. And so she's like, you're pretty good with that bow. And it's her turn. And so she is going to turn her bow to Avantris and says, you remember this one? And she pulls it back, and the arrow glows with a, what was it? This purple hue as it fires directly at you, Avantris.
Disadvantage?
It is disadvantage. Yep. And it's still going to hit.
Okay, so now I won't have disadvantage until the start of my next turn.
Correct. It pierces through your illusion, fires into you, dealing 11 points of piercing damage. And you feel this almost necromantic energy pulse out and slow you down. You feel like you're weakened, and all of a sudden your muscles start to kind of atrophy a little bit for a second. Your damage, your piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning damage is halved until the end of Tyke's next turn. And she is going to fire an arrow right at you, Annulin. That's going to hit. That is going to be 10 points of piercing damage. Fires into you. Avantris, you're up.
I am going to make an attack against the stable hand in front of me.
Okay.
15. Sorry, God, I'm rolling terribly.
15. As soon as you, this feels like it should be easy, and you stab into it, but for whatever reason, the eyes kind of flash blue, and he just barely dodges out of the way of your rapier.
What?
Is he just slow?
Okay, then I'm going to use my bonus action to disengage.
No, he's not slow. He's the one that's not slow. And yep, you disengage.
2 and 4, I guess.
And then I'm gonna move towards Tyke.
Okay.
And yell at her, basically pleading, begging, "Please, is there anything we can do to save you?"
I'm too far gone. Actually, could you please make a persuasion check? A disadvantage because you're attacking her.
Oh, I gotta roll a 15 and a 16. So the disadvantage is a 15 plus 12 is 27.
27. She kind of hesitates a moment. There's a sadness in her eyes. A glint of fear. I'm too far gone, Avantris. And then the steely resolve returns. And with that, she is going to lean down from the ceiling and try to claw you, Avantris, with her free arm. And...
So, disadvantage.
Correct. And it's going to miss. Wait, no, I already hit you, so you're not, or it's...
To the start of my next turn.
Correct, you're right. So the illusory appearance, it appears, slashes through. And with that, and I forgot to mention, Annulin, as soon as she moved, you start to see the wounds that you had left on her person are closing up by the moment. Okay, Rodic, you're up.
Oh, shit. I'm gonna just turn around. I'm sorry, lad. I don't... And I just turn 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And now I'm just gonna, basically try to, beat him with my sword.
That's
try to, knock him out.
Your non-lethal attack.
Yes,
that is a mechanical thing in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition.
Okay, so...
And other editions.
A 19 and a 16.
Both hit.
Okay.
As chance would have it, both hit.
Let's roll the damage together. Re-roll both of these guys. That's not bad. 8, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 damage.
Is that both hits?
Yes.
You just punch him in the face, and then just boop him, and then the blue eyes kind of roll back, and he falls to the ground unconscious. Out of the fight.
Okay. I'll turn him over.
Okay. They're up as both of them turn their eyes on you, Sylvie, as they walk forward. You move both of them on Sylvie. What is the rule of the slow one?
So, the affected one's speed is halved.
He's barely able to make it.
He has a -2 penalty to AC.
Okay.
And Dex saving throws. He can't use reactions. On his turn, he can either use an action or bonus action, but not both. Regardless of his magical items, he can't make more than one melee or ranged attack during his turn.
Okay.
If he attempts to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action, you have to roll a d20, and that affects it.
Got it.
And then he can make a wisdom save at the end of his turn.
Okay, so as one is reaching in, the one that he kind of is... You just kind of sidestep it as he's slowed. However, as you're sidestepping it, one catches you in the back. You take whatever it's that much damage? 4 points of piercing damage. As a pitchfork catches you in the back.
Ugh, I told you about pitchforks. Oh God. Check for large backpacks.
And with that, Taiki says, "Come here, Avantris," and she swipes again, disadvantage. And she's gonna hit. And she's going.
I'm gonna use uncanny dodge to have whatever I take.
It seems as if she's going to slash you, but she reaches down, grabs you by the neck, and pulls you up to her. You are grappled. You take no damage.
Sorry, can I use Misty Escape, by the way, when I got hit? I wanted to use that, and I want to get right here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You see Sylvie.
No, right there.
You see Sylvie poof, and you kind of remember seeing her poof being kind of this puff of glitter, and it's kind of this time is kind of this puff of swamp gas, and whoosh, she appears in the side of the room.
Ew, gross.
And with that, that already happened. Annual, you're up.
Okay, I am going to move down, sort of like in front of Rodek, like on the opposite side of the other guy's unconscious body.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good here.
I'm gonna fire 2 more arrows at Taiki, but I'm going to make them the silvered arrows.
Oh God, please don't hit me.
Okay.
One incoming, Baines gets headshot, instant death.
Damn close.
Ooh.
That is where's my thing?
You're not supposed to be rooting that you're gonna hit.
It's a 13 to hit and an 18 to hit.
The 13, it flies off, hits the side of the cellar. The second one does find, as you hear loud sizzling similar to the magical effect that you hear, which is like, ah! As she kind of slumps forward and roll damage.
Oh, shitty dicks. Okay, that is 11.
11. As it fires in, and as she's kind of grappling Vanish up by his neck, and she takes that damage, and
and I want to just also keep eye as things progress. I want to watch the wound where I hit her and see if she heals.
It's not her turn yet, it's Sylvie's turn.
Yeah. Well, it might be important.
Just go after.
Yeah, we'll go after. Yeah, just go ahead and we'll see how that affects. Yeah.
I want to look at her and cast Bane.
Bane.
Yep.
Okay.
So she has to make a charisma saving throw, and I'm casting it. I'm casting it as a bard, so the DC is only 17.
Charisma saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
She gets a 22.
So she passes.
And so she passes. You channel Bane, and you kind of start to see these strange dark tendrils kind of slither out, and then all of a sudden she resists as they kind of start to begin to rack her mind, and she clearly resists these.
And then as my bonus action, I am going to cast Healing Word on Avantris.
Okay,
those are 2 spells. You can't.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can't. Never mind. I'm not going to do anything.
Okay. So so she manages to resist that, but so that happens. After you go, she uses her last legendary action, and she has you grapple Vanish, and she's going to make a bite on you.
So it doesn't
Thank you for the cheer. We love you, Minnie.
The amulet doesn't do anything when I'm grappled, like when I'm restrained. So you don't have disadvantage.
Okay, and let me make sure that I don't have advantage on this. Grapple, where are you? Nope. Okay. You're grappled, and she is going to lean in and bite, and you are lifted off. You see Vanish's feet kind of go up to the ceiling, and you feel 2 fangs sink into your neck.
Probably not a good thing.
Into your neck, Avantris. You take...
Holy shit.
You take 6 points of piercing damage, and 6 points, so mark that down.
Yep.
Remember this number. This is going to be important.
Ah, shit. Okay.
You're going to take 12 points of necrotic damage. Your max HP is reduced by 12. As you feel your life force sucked out.
So I guess do I subtract that from my maximum and my current?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So you take that damage, but then also track your max as being low.
It's important for if you get like crit and it would have done your maximum HP under 0 because your new maximum is 12 minus.
Got it. Okay.
As soon as she bites into you and her eyes kind of roll back and she says, I was so hungry. And she turns you around, Avantris, and she looks into your eyes. There's a flash of red. Please make a with saving throw, please.
Oh, shit.
This is going sideways real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Whiz saving throw.
Correct.
Okay. It's a 3.
You're my friend, aren't you, Avantris? And you are charmed.
I'm the charming one!
Taiki is a trusted friend and confidant who must be protected. And you're not mind controlled, but you trust her as a friend and you respond positively to her request. And she's going to say, kill them, please. And she drops you on the ground.
Got it, pal. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay.
She's going to send you to Sylvan.
Off an ambulance because she picked the lock. She threw my lockpick.
That's fine.
So if I can get to Anulin, I want to stab her in the face.
You have to use a bonus action to sprint.
Oh, done.
Does it look like a spell?
Make an Arcana check.
Natural 20 plus whatever my Arcana is.
You're very confident it is not a spell. It seems like a feature of her being a vampire.
Okay.
You have that full knowledge.
Thank you.
And then, because there's no other creature within 5 feet of me or her, I can duel her and just attack like normal.
Correct.
Oh, God.
Oh, lucky for her, I only rolled a 3, which is a 13.
You run up and you see Avantris has red eyes, kind of glowing, mystical, like this reddish faint pink as he's charmed. And he seems very unlike himself as he just runs up to you. Not the same blue of the stable boys. And he misses and you dodge out of the way.
Attack rolls have been absolute garbage tonight.
And with that, Taiki is going to fire an arrow at you, Sylvie.
Okay.
Oh my god, really? 15? Does that hit?
15 hits.
It hits, okay. That's going to deal 6 points of piercing damage as it fires into you. Okay.
15 points?
No. Did I say 15? 10.
Yeah, I thought so. Oh.
No. 8. 8. Apologies.
No worries. I was going to take 15.
I rolled very low. She fires into you and says, I always knew you were my friend, Avantris. Okay, Rodek, you're up.
Hold on. I gotta read the rules for this. I would like to... Sorry, hold on. Range attacks, melee attacks, here we go. I would like to, seeing this, does his face look any different? But does he look...
Was that?
Avantris.
Yeah, he's very clearly
Charmed.
yeah.
You would know what charms are.
Yeah.
I am going to... I'm going to then... I'm going to scream, Avantris, what are you doing? Step out of it! And I'm going to rush at him, and I'm going to make a shoving attack.
Okay.
Disadvantage.
Because he's got his...
Disadvantage.
Oh,
okay.
let me see if you make...
Oh, no, it is a contest.
That's not good.
Okay.
I'm very weak. I'm very nimble, but I'm very weak.
You can make an acrobatics check, and I make an athletics check.
Oh, now it's
Hold on 1 second. Let me just make sure this is right. Oh, it's at the end of the turn you can repeat the saving throw. So, Vanish, go ahead and repeat the saving throw real quick. After you text.
Oh, it's just whiz?
Yeah, whiz.
8.
You're still charmed. Rodek, proceed.
So we both roll 1 die and I add my acrobatics?
Oh, hold on.
he's a high elf. He can't be charmed.
By magic.
By magic, but it's not magic.
By
which
magic.
We know that it's not, so never mind.
Correct.
Our GM would never make a silly mistake like that.
Rhoda, continue.
Okay, so I am going to roll my athletics.
Thanks,
you roll your
Quark, we
acrobatics.
tried.
Got a 19. 10 plus 9.
I got a 20.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
You do whatever
11
you do.
plus 9. So I basically run into him and I knock him prone. So
Okay.
Avantris is now prone. And then I'm going to jump on him and then do a grapple.
Okay.
My medallion now is gone because I'm restrained.
You tackle Vanish to the ground, and you're grappling him now. What are you doing?
Well, no, that was to knock him on the ground. And now, I guess...
Oh, it's alternate effects?
I will look it up right now.
Look it up. Vanish, just take advantage because that's fine. You're a high elf. Roll advantage.
1 second.
Well, no, we'll say for this, and then for next time we'll say. Okay, go ahead, Rhoda.
Okay.
So I guess we'll just say that was just a grapple attack.
Okay, so you tackle him on the ground, and Rhoda is grappling him.
Okay, got it. So, and then I have an attack left, but I'm just gonna...
Punch him in the face.
I'm
Give
just-
him a black.
Hurt the moneymaker.
I'm just gonna basically... I'm just basically start just like shaking him.
Okay.
This isn't you, Avantris! Shake out of it!
And she,
snap out of it.
you hear a laugh. He's my friend. I knew him first, not you. You can't replace me. And fires an arrow at you, Rodek. And
If I'm on the ground, would it be disadvantaged?
it is. And it misses. It goes right over your hair as it flies into the wall. Okay, with that, it is their turn. And Ken?
They have saving throws, advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put them to sleep.
Oh,
For
so
all
it's
of us.
So
So it's just the magic is for the sleep and not for the charm. Just any kind of charm.
apologies for that. So you'll get advantage on any charms going forward. Good to know. And so both of those, you are prone, so they're going to get advantage. They're going to pitchfork you, Rodek.
Oh, shit.
Okay. One is still going to horribly miss. He's the slowed one, and he still misses. You manage to roll out of the way. And one does manage to hit. That is going to be 4 points of piercing damage as it pierces into you. Sylvia, you're up.
That tickles.
I am going to... I'm fishing for it. I'm going to look at her and I'm going to cast Charm Monster. DC 19.
And you wave your magic, and you kind of that similar kind of poof as she kind of Taiki's eyes kind of gloss over a little bit, and she's like kind of gloss over. No, I can't. And she uses her second legendary resistance.
And how would that affect her concentration? Is the charm concentration at all? Would I know that?
It is not.
Because it's a vampire thing?
It is,
Cool.
yeah.
Gotcha. Just checking. And I'm just gonna, oh, so close. And then that's all I'm gonna do.
Okay, Annual, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to move out, move out of the way. I guess it's a barrel or something in front of me, so I'll go the other way. And just get in, without getting next to the guys, I'm gonna get in line of sight for Taiki and fire 2 more arrows.
Okay.
Is like this good?
Yeah, that's good.
You fire both arrows.
25 and 16 to hit.
Both hit.
Oh, wow.
You get a sense of her AC at this point.
27.
27 points of damage total.
Oh, actually, just for a second, did her wounds that I was watching from the silver arrows, did they heal the same as the others did?
They did, correct.
They did. Okay, so this would be just with normal arrow then. 27 damage.
27 damage. Both fire in as they sink in. She's filled with arrows, and she kind of calls out, "You're a good shot, Annulin. I told you that. I would have had that possum if it wasn't for you." As
Yeah.
I remember callbacks, and with that, she is going to use the last of her legendary actions to fire an arrow back at you. And she's going to miss. It flies off. And I'm having a rough day, okay? And with that, she is going to... What is she going to do? Apologies. She is going to turn to you, Annulin. Once again, that same familiar purple energy swirls around her arrow. She lets it fly. We'll see if it hits you. Does 16 hit? No. It barely misses, clatters off to the wall, and she gets really frustrated and pulls another arrow out of her quiver. The arrows are somehow not falling to the ground. Probably vampire magic or DM fiat. This one is going to hit. As it does 11 points of piercing damage to you. And that's going to be her turn. Okay, Avantris, you're up.
Okay, so I am prone and incapacitated currently. What can I do?
No, he's grappled.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
You're grappled, so you can stab Rodek in the face if you'd like.
Oh, hell yeah!
And you're advantaged because he's prone.
Oh, hell yeah!
But if he's grappled, does he have disadvantage? No. Oh, it's restrained?
Yep.
You did this to yourself.
Here's the awesome thing. When I have advantage on attack rolls, because of my elven accuracy, I can re-roll one of the dice once.
Yes.
So I'm going to make an attack against Rodek.
Okay.
He really wants to hurt you.
I got an 18 and a 9, so I'm going to re-roll the 9.
Okay.
And that's a 12, so I'll stick with my 18 plus 10
That
is
hits.
28.
That'll hit.
That hits.
We are... Wait, are the stable hands friends or foes?
They're your friends.
Okay, then I get to attack with my sneak attack damage. Hey guys, I'm trying to play by the rules here.
That's exactly how you do it.
You're enjoying this way too much.
This is the coolest thing that's ever happened. I gotta find my... I think I'm 5d6 currently. I'm not 66.
Yep.
I just haven't looked at my chart at all. Alright, 5d6 plus 1d8 plus 6.
Oh,
Yep.
Thank you,
So,
Rizzondo.
thank you, Rizzondo.
Thank you.
As Rodek, you're grappling Vantage, trying to shake him out, instead of you feel Venom's spine slide up into you.
Ugh.
How much?
32 points of damage.
32?
Yes.
So that's 29.
Okay. The Venom's spine stabs up into you for 32 points of damage. Vantage, can you please roll, what you call it?
Sure.
Charm at advantage.
With advantage?
Yep. As you see...
A 17.
17. As soon as you stab Rodek coughs up blood onto you, and almost as if on command, as soon as the blood hits you, you see Rodek, Vantage's eyes kind of come back to normal. That same kind of green, I think, right? Kind of looking back at you. And Vantage, you are back in your own mind.
Oh god, what the fuck?
How could you? You don't even have a pitchfork.
that one!
Okay. And with that, she is going to fire an arrow. Said, "No, you don't." And she is going to fire an arrow at. We'll say Vanders.
Disadvantage.
Oh yeah, I should have done that. Yeah, it misses. What a mistake. Okay. With that, it's Rodek's turn.
Is it clear to me that he's broken free of the charm?
His eyes were like reddish pinkish, and now they are not.
Oh, everybody gets one! Are you alright?
I'm very bewildered and confused and covered in blood and bleeding and Rodek's blood and my own blood, and I'm like speechless. I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna just turn and I stand up and I just go in with my sword and I'm gonna make 2 non-lethal attacks. I'll do are one of them damaged 4 and 3?
4 is damaged and
Okay.
slow. He's a weak little bitch.
I'm going to attack number...
He's kind of like Game & Watch.
I'm going to attack that one with a 17.
17 hits, yeah.
5, so 11 damage.
You bash him in the head, and he falls back down unconscious.
I will use my second attack on number 4.
Okay. I was picking up what you were laying down, Wendy. Don't worry.
13, but his AC is dropped by... Wait, which one is slowed? Is 4 slowed? Or which one did I just knock over?
That was... What number was that? That was 3, so yeah, so that was then 4.
What's that? So I just knocked out 3 then.
Yeah.
Right? Wait, I knocked out 4 or 3?
You knocked out 3, yeah.
Okay, got it.
So number 4.
So I got a 13 to hit on number 4.
That hits, he's slowed.
Oh. Then that will do... Come on. These dice suck. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage.
You smack him on the head, and he collapses to the ground as you stand up. All of the stable boys...
Spit out some blood.
Yeah, Van is laying on the ground, his rapier covered in Rodek's blood. As you see, basically, Tyke's wounds keep closing. That is a feature turn. If that stops, I will let you know, but it likely won't, so I'm not going to describe it anymore. Anyway, continue.
I'm going to... I'm going to use my movement to... 1, 2, 3,
half of your movement? Because you got up from prone.
Oh, you're right. I'm just going to go here. Yeah.
Okay. With that, Tyke is gonna fire an arrow at you, Rodek, as you're running towards her. That's gonna hit.
Shade.
The sub was purely for you getting stabbed.
Thanks.
Dealing 7 points of piercing damage as her longbow arrow fires at you.
That's nothing.
It's their turn. They're all unconscious, or the one horribly mutilated one dead one. Sylvia, you're up.
I am going to move. Can you move me basically next to that rectangle?
This one? Or this
Yeah.
one?
No, the rectangle in front. Next, like on its spot.
Oh, on its spot?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast Fey Presence on her to charm or frighten her.
Okay.
DC 19 Wisdom save. I believe it's Wisdom. Let me double check. Yeah, Wisdom save.
Plus 17 plus 24. As once again you see swirling of shadows appear, green, black, gray, as you kind of see this strange figure that's hooded, long hair coming down a long nose with a wart on it, and you hear a and Psyche kind of looks afraid for a second, but then steels herself. And
I jump too.
Oh my god, that was so good, I scared myself!
And I don't know what you're doing, Sylvie, but I don't like it. And she's gonna fire an arrow at you.
I'll take it.
I don't even know what dice. That's gonna be 22 to hit.
It misses, yeah.
That is going to be 10 points of piercing damage that fires into you. With that, it is Anna's turn.
Okay. Floundering. God, I don't know. I feel like I'm screwing this up. I'm just gonna keep firing arrows because I'm a dumb little.
Somebody's got to do damage.
I guess. I don't know. Like, can I tell how much she's healing? Like,
She's healing a lot.
okay.
It feels like she's not that wounded, honestly. It feels like you've not done that much to her.
Okay.
You've been
In
deep in
that
other
case,
business.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try casting lightning arrow.
Okay.
Okay, so I've never used this before. So the next time you make ranged weapons attack, weapons ammunition, blah, blah, blah. Transforms into a bolt of lightning.
Okay.
I just want to see if that does anything. Okay, so that is 26 to hit.
That hits, yeah, for sure.
And do I drop Hunter's Mark if I'm casting it?
If it's concentration, then yes.
It does not say.
If there's not a C next to it, it's not concentration.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
Sorry.
probably not concentration.
It's probably not. So you pull your arrow back, and you all of you have not seen this annually do this before. It crackles with electrical natural energy, and she lets it go. It fires in a bolt of lightning that hits Tyche. What does it do? Because I have no idea.
Okay, target takes 4d8 lightning damage on a hit.
Okay.
Classic Mikey. What does it do? Because I have no idea.
I don't fucking know. I don't know how shit works. I'm only the dungeon master.
That's 29 lightning damage.
She gets completely fried, and she's still hanging from the ceiling. 29. Holy shit. Okay. And she's fried by lightning, and there's kind of smoke leaving from your bow and from her, and she's totally fried. And she turns around and fires an arrow at you, Annulin. That's gonna hit. You take...
Question real quick, sorry.
Yeah.
How long is a turn again? I forget.
6 seconds.
6 seconds?
Yeah. Ish. Canonically, it's more of an epic, longer anime fight, but for the rules of 5th edition, it's 6 seconds.
Continue. How much damage do I take?
You did a lot of damage, and you take 9 points of piercing damage as the arrow flies into you. It is her turn.
Good thing I'm also the tank.
Literally.
And with that, the wounds start to heal, these bloodless wounds, and she's looking definitely pretty good. She looks. He looks at you, Sylvie, and she kind of walks over and she leans down and just, "You've been giving me a lot of trouble," and she's going to lean down to do a claw attack.
So she's getting close to me, or she has reach?
She walks up. Right?
Oh, okay.
She's walking up to you. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll say you are short enough that she's a drop from the ceiling, standing on the ground, and swipes down and misses. And then she's going to, and you just dodge out of the way, being your slippery nose self. No! And she's going to try to grab you again. If I don't roll like shit. And you dodge. And you manage to dodge out of the way both times, and Avantris, it is your turn.
So I just have my movement to stand up.
Okay.
I'm going to stumble 3 steps ahead of me towards Rodek and pull out a potion and hand it to him while saying, "I'm so sorry, gods, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. Take this, I'm so sorry."
All right,
it's just a regular potion. It's the only one I have.
Well, that means a lot. And can I take it as a reaction?
Yeah, you take it as a reaction. It's fine. Free out, yeah. Okay, what are you doing, Avantris?
No, that's my whole turn.
Oh, so you hand him a potion. And with that, she is just going to try to scoop you up, Sylvie.
Scoopin' Sylvies, scoopin' Sylvies. Everyone
15 hits,
out
right?
here scoopin'
No.
Sylvies. Yes, it does.
Does it?
Yeah, 15 hits. My AC is 15.
She scoops down and grapples you. You are now kind of held in her arms. Okay. With that, it is Rodek's turn.
Oh, being a dwarf is so fun sometimes.
Also, Winnie, you're hilarious. That killed me.
I'm not reading chat, so Winnie, we appreciate you. I'm trying to keep track of everything.
We all think that she should get chat inspiration. Just not that it happens in this campaign, but you know, Winnie, take one for Feywild. If you ever show up for Feywild, I'm giving you one for Feywild because that was hilarious. I will write it down.
You know what you have, Rich.
What's that?
Nothing.
What do you say?
You've ranged abilities.
I know.
Okay.
I was just about to do said thing. So, not being able to get close, I am going to pull out. I'm going to reach into my bag and dig through it and pull out this ridiculously dusty javelin of lightning covered in cobwebs. It hasn't seen light in like months.
It has been months. It is covered in cobwebs and dust. It has not been used since killing the hags. Pre-stream.
Oh, wow.
Correct. That is correct.
And you're going to throw it.
And I'm going to chuck it at Tyke. So I believe I make it just an attack roll, right?
You do that. Yeah.
12 plus 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, okay.
Gracie is 16.
Okay, got it. So each creature in the line is just going to make a lightning line. You know how it works.
Thematically, the theme of this, once again, rather than Annual, it's Rhoda, he pulls out a javelin, has not seen the light of day since the first fucking arc, and it crackles with electric energy, he chucks it. Just like the arrow, it turns to a lightning bolt, and she looks at it and says, "Why is it always lightning?" Ah!
So it'll hit me too, though, because she's holding me in her arms.
Oh, I guess that's what it. So she technically on the same spot?
I would say no. Just mechanically, you're in a separate spot. Her hand is hitting you, but it's going to hit her.
Okay. Okay, teacher, whatever you say.
I appreciate your willingness to...
So she needs to make a DC 13
you are not
dex saving throw.
Cool.
Dex saving
I will
throw?
take it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use his legendary reaction. And she takes the full...
She fails. Okay.
She fails.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. No, you're dropping one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So she takes. Does it matter? Lightning and piercing. Do I have to? Okay.
It's magically.
3. Oh, this is really bad. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 damage.
70 points of damage. It hits her. There's the javelin sticking out of her, and she rips it out, and she's once again fried for 17 points of damage. Okay.
I technically have a second attack. I can't really do much with it. I don't have like a second javelin, and I'll just stand there.
Okay, you just stand there and you look good. Okay.
It's like good.
With that, she is going to, as she's kind of jolting from the shock, she's going to lift you up, Sylvie, and attempts to sink her fangs into you. That's going to hit.
Oh wow. Fuck.
That does... Oh, that does not... It is 5 points of piercing damage. Wow. And then, necrotic. 11 points of necrotic damage. As you feel your life force and your maximum HP is brought down by 11 points. Okay. With that, it is... Their turn, they're dead. Sylvia, you're up.
Okay. I am going to use my action to hold on to my boyfriend's old rod, and I'm going to regain a warlock spell slot. And then, as my bonus action, I am going to not do anything.
Okay. Oh, so it's an action to channel.
It's an action.
So you channel the power. You hear,
Bitch!
as the wailing, the wayward soul channels you with warlock action. You're still grappled by Tyche. Okay. And with that, she is going to. I think she has one more legendary action. She does, and she's going to attempt to rend you with her claw. And she's going to perfectly miss. Okay, Angelin, you're up.
Okay, I gotta ask some questions. What is the ceiling of this like?
Wooden.
Is it board? It's wood,
Boards.
like
slats.
floorboard.
Yeah.
Okay, and I forget the structure that is above this. Was it one that's just a frame?
It was a frame. You didn't take much time to inspect it, honestly.
But I mean, like, was it a building or was it just like kind of like the?
It was a barn that had basically collapsed in on itself.
Okay. I am going to. I don't know if I'm capable of this. I'm going to just fire 2 arrows like normal.
Okay. Fire both.
23 and 24 to hit.
Both hit, yeah. Totally.
31 damage.
31 damage. Okay. Total?
Okay. Yeah, total.
Okay, both fire into magic arrows sizzling as they pierce her flesh. She's like, ah! And she keeps ripping out the arrows with one hand and with her bow hand, and she's grappling slowly with the other. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so then I want to go up the stairs and out of the basement and get as far towards her corner on the upper level where she is as I can, as my movement will allow.
So that would be...
You want to go up here?
I basically want to go to the floor above the basement, and I'm working my way towards her, however far I can get. Should be 7.
So the basement was very deep. It would probably take you... You could get like a little bit up the stairs this turn, and it would probably take you another round just to get like up to the main level, and then going around would take you a couple turns.
Okay, then just to like spare everyone this nightmare that doesn't work, by looking at the ceiling, would I be able to see, like, could I get a sense of if I'd be able to like break through the ceiling at all?
Make a perception check.
So I don't waste like 4 turns getting over there and realize I can't. That's pretty shitty. 14.
14. You look around, and in the heat of combat, it just looks like these thick wooden slats. It'd be hard for you to kind of figure out how you could blow this open, I guess, if that's... It looks like it's like an old building, but it is pretty solid.
Okay, then just strike that. I'm gonna move towards the group.
Okay.
Good idea. I like that.
Okay. You run, yeah, I like where your head's at. She has no legendary actions. And she's going to turn to you and Sylvie. And she's going to look at you and says, Sylvie, you held my hand. You're my friend, right? Her eyes shimmer like fucking Ka from Jungle Book. And will you please make a wit saving throw?
Sure.
Don't gnomes have something tricky?
Against magic.
Oh, fuck.
20.
20. You feel the charm kind of start to set in on you, and you effortlessly shake it off.
Hey, that's my trick.
And her eyes kind of return, and she hisses at you. Okay, Avantris, it's your turn. Her fangs dripping with your blood.
With a new found sense of purpose and shame for stabbing his good friend Rodek, I'm gonna redouble and try to stab Taiki in the face.
Okay.
Can you move him so he can...
Are you up here?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes. Got a 14.
14 misses. You run up next to her. She's on the ground, and you stab Anne, and she dodges out of the way, and she says, "No, not today." And she's going to carry Sylvie with her as she's going to run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Opportunity attack.
She doesn't
You
get
do
it.
not.
Vampire.
But I have Sentinel. They always provoke opportunity attacks.
Do they?
Let me read it. Creatures always provoke opportunity attacks. Or is this like...
It's not without producing, so no matter what, she does not produce
Okay,
opportunity attacks.
got it.
And she's next to you anyway.
She's not going anywhere.
Oh, she's right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Rodek, you're up.
As she swings by, I'm just going to immediately come in with an attack.
Got it.
That's a 20 to hit.
That hits, of course. Her AC 16.
I'm going. Oh, right. I'm going to make it a disarming strike. So she needs to make a strength save.
Strength?
A strength save.
Are you disarming her of a Sylvie?
Yep. See, if I was smart, I would have used the
11?
javelin to disarm her before you got bit.
11?
Nope, that fails. So she drops one held item. So I basically go for the hand that she has Sylvie, and assuming that would count.
That will definitely count. That's a brilliant idea. So as she's grappling, Rodek's King Krem's sword, swings it down, it slices in the magic of the blade, finally making contact, singeing her as the curse of King Krem's cutlass also does a thing, and Sylvie, you are dropped from the grapple.
Yeah, so...
How much damage though?
So hold on, I'll do the damage first. You roll that.
That's smart.
6.
Oh no, I rolled my ankle.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 damage for that attack.
20 damage. And I had not healed, so she's healing?
Can we do the wounds damage that I forgot?
Yes.
So, it would have been at the beginning of her last turn.
Did she take damage from you before?
What's that?
She didn't take damage from you before. From it was only javelin.
Yeah.
You knocked her with the sword.
No.
Oh, you're right. That was a javelin.
So now she has one rank of wound.
So now she has one rank of wound.
You feel that the curse of the blade seeping into her, and she's just kind of trying to stop it, and she's missing a Sylvie. She then has her bow.
She's missing a Sylvie.
I'm going to make my second attack on her. That hits. Let's make it a good old...
Wombo combo attack.
Let's just make it a good old menacing attack. I haven't done one of those in a while.
You make it a menacing. You're a very menacing dwarf, Rodek.
Wisdom save.
2 passes.
That's too bad. But... Oh, wow. Can I max damage this?
No.
Close. 10, 20, 26 damage for that.
Yeah, okay. Let Rodek get in range. Okay. Rodek slams, your sword slices her across. It slashes through her hunting leathers that she's in. And you see the kind of grayish flesh open as no blood comes out.
And I want to yell, why are you doing this?
Make a persuasion check.
Not my strong suit, 11.
Because I want to. Okay.
Can I bonus action quaff?
Yeah, and she is going to say, no, 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 and she's going to use another legendary action. Okay. You chug a potion. Okay. They're down, Sylvia, you're up.
How many do I have?
I'm just going to take this off.
I'll tell you after my
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
I am going to pull my flute out of my pack, lying on the ground with my rolled ankle. And I am going to cast Mass Cure Wounds from my flute. And that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And that's going to hit all of us.
You play the Super Mario Brothers theme song. And
whoa, that's the Sylvie the Slayer's
Sylvie the Slayer's theme song. I forgot.
Thank you.
She'll send her lawyer after you, man. Be careful.
Yikes. I'm sorry, Nintendo. Please don't sue us like you did those ROM hack sites. I didn't mean to bring that up. Please sponsor us, Nintendo. I'm going to buy Super Smash Brothers Ultimate day 1. And we already have a Switch. It's delightful.
You haven't even touched it.
But hey.
I don't have a game to play.
$17 health to everybody.
The music from Sylvie's flute courses through the room, and you all feel inspired as all of your wounds heal for 17 points worth.
Holy shit, that's fucking great.
I'm
feeling all right.
As she turns and uses the last of her legendary action, she's going to fire a bow at Annulin. And get a natural 20.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, come on.
A real dog.
14 points of piercing damage.
It's alright.
Fires into you. Okay, that's our last legendary action. With that, it's Annulin's turn.
Okay, I am going to try something different. I am going to, and tell me if I'm not allowed to do this, but I'm going to use my blah 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 druidcraft and make it like the illusion of sunlight on her. Can I do that?
Sure.
Like peeking out from the boards in that spot. That's pretty cute.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Make a deception check, we'll say.
Okay, so I'll be like, oh my god, there's a crack in the floor, the sun's coming in! And do that.
It's really convincing.
What did you do?
Deception.
Deception. I got a natural 20. Oh, it's a 22. I roll when it counts, guys. I do.
Sylvie gives you a wink from the floor, very impressed.
So as you see, Annual, you haven't used the spell that much. You channel the power of the druidic magic of your people. And suddenly kind of the illusion of like little bits of sunlight start to peek in from the corners. Taiki turns and she starts shaking like, oh no, it's day! And she is so afraid, we'll say she disadvantaged on attack rolls for the
She's frightened.
She's frightened. Yeah. We'll say with that roll that she's frightened. Yep, got it.
Thanks, Mike.
For this turn, she's frightened until the end of her turn, which is going to be a thing.
That's awesome.
It's adorable.
Is she gonna do this? Yeah, I think she would. So she's gonna use her movement to get the fuck away from the sunlight. No. 1, 2, 3, 4.
But if she's frightened, can she willingly move towards Annulin?
She's frightened of the sunlight.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So she cannot move. She needs to move away from the
Gotcha,
sunlight.
gotcha.
She's moving away from the sunlight, and she looks around, and she looks, and she says, "No." Pulls out an arrow.
Oh, jeez.
It channels red, and you see her point to you, Annulin, very quickly. She turns and she points to the unconscious farmhands in the room. That's gonna hit. It fires in. As soon as it hit, a huge explosion of force energy, and they are basically all blown apart instantly.
I tried.
The love of the pitchfork, oh, may they rest in peace, is, as it were.
I didn't want to do this. And then she turns and she fires an arrow at you, Annulin, for scaring the shit out of her. And she's going to horrifically miss. So she murdered a bunch of farmhands, and that will be her turn. And that'll be Vance, you're up.
I want to use my bonus action to sprint across the room and stab her in the face.
Okay.
1.5, 2, 3, 4. It's 4.5.
Oh, and she's healing.
6,
She's healing.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You want to get all the way here? You can.
That's good enough.
Okay.
I'd like to actually land an attack this time instead of on an ally.
You have luck points, remember.
Yeah, I try not to be too OP.
I think it's
You
fair
also-
that you use them.
You also still have Bardic Inspiration because it's good for 10 minutes and you haven't used it.
21.
That'll
okay,
hit.
I will note that.
That'll hit.
21. Okay. We are dueling, so I still get my sneak attack. Finally landed a hit. $33 points of damage.
33 points of damage. His venomous spine stabs into her. She coughs, no blood, but she's clearly wounded. Her eyes are kind of flaring red. 33, you said? And she kind of looks at you and says, "There's Avantris, I know, just like old times, huh?" And she kind of takes a step back and uses her legendary action to slice, and because she's still disadvantaged, one was a natural 20, the other one is a miss, and
Hey.
2, baby, that's 2.
she misses, and then that's it. Rodek, you're up.
How's she looking?
Rough, but not. You know.
I am going
She
to.
keeps healing, so it's hard to tell.
Right. I am going to, let's see here. Hold on, sorry. Equipment. I didn't add it. I am just going to, I guess, sprint, run, 4, 5. I'm just going to sprint
Does
there.
she take wounds?
Oh, she does take wounds.
Please roll wound damage. You're running with your massive sword drawn, getting ready to attack her. You know that you can't. You expend your energy just to get there.
She takes 4 damage, and she has to roll to see if she clears wounds.
Necrotic though.
Yeah, it's 1d4, so she takes 4 necrotic damage.
So she takes. You see the wounds, and it's necrotic as you start to see that she's kind of absorbing some of it, but she's not taking the full. She doesn't.
Oh, jeez. So make a DC 15 con saving throw.
And she horrifically fails, so she's still.
Okay, so she still has that.
Another 1 rank point of wounds.
Seeing that she is wounded, I'm going to action surge.
Oh.
And I'm going to yell at her, who did this to you? Who turned you into this? And I'm going to attack. That hits. So now she has 2 stacks of wounds.
Okay.
Let's make it a... Let's make it a menacing attack again. With save.
Okay. She it looks like you hit her so hard. She looks afraid, and all of a sudden her eyes flash, and the last bit of her legendary actions.
Okay.
Are done.
6, 7, 8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 damage for the first attack.
Yeah, because why not?
And then I'm going to attack again.
Okay. 22 points of damage?
22 points of damage. I'm going to attack again.
Sure.
And how wounded does she look?
She's pretty fucking wounded.
I'm going to make this a non-lethal attack. That barely hits. And I'm going to make it a tripping attack. So she needs to make a strength save, or she's knocked prone.
She succeeds. 22.
She's not knocked prone, but she will take this damages. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23? No, that can't be right. When I roll 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 21 damage.
Why not?
Fighters.
Make a persuasion check, please. As you and you channel your soldier training and your dwarven resolve, and you make the full sprint, slashing into her, applying these horrific wounds of the compass.
18.
18. She looks at you, and her eyes are wide with fear. She looks around, panicked, like a wild animal. And she looks and says, "I don't know!" Okay. And with that, and she is going to slash you.
It's bonus action. I'm healing. Action surge. The second one.
And with that, Rodek, she is going to grapple you up with claw. Okay.
So I'm grappled now?
Yep. Okay, so you're up. Oh, yeah.
Me.
Apologies.
No worries. I'm going to move in a little closer, and for the last time, with my new spell slot, I'm going to cast Charm Monster on her.
Okay.
Charm Creature. Yeah, I think it's called Charm Monster, but it affects all creatures. Let me make sure it's the right one.
It's Charm Monster.
Yeah, Charm Monster.
She's looking incredibly wounded.
Knowing that I can't do non-lethal with spells, I will attack Charm Monster. It's a Wisdom save.
Wiz save. What is my Wiz? +7.
Oh, you want to get a little closer? Where do you want to go?
I just want to be within 30 feet of her. So
18
fails.
18 fails. So you see her eyes kind of glaze over, and she.
Oh, but she would be at advantage because we're fighting her.
Got it.
Gotta be fair.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be success.
Okay.
As the charm, and it looks like it's about to work, and as soon as Sylvie, you cast this charm, and she looks at you, and there's these incredible sad eyes, and you kind of see for a moment a similar girl to the one that you had seen in the cemetery, who's so afraid of whose candles were they? Who knows? But those candles, like you were. And as soon as that happens, Rhoda kind of elbows her in the nose and kind of fucks it all up. And
Classic.
Oh!
and she kind of snaps out of it as he's being grappled. And with that, it is she's then, after that turn, she's gonna and then turn to you, Rhoda, and make a bite attack against you. That's gonna hit. That is going to be 12 points of piercing damage. And please keep note of that's 12 points of piercing.
Would that wouldn't be reduced by heavy armor master, would it? Or,
no.
Okay, I figured.
Oh wow. 7 points of necrotic damage. Your max HP is reduced by 7. Okay, Aniel, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna fire 2 arrows.
Don't kill her!
Huh?
Don't kill her! I say.
I'm gonna gently fire 2 arrows.
You do that.
26 and 28.
They both hit.
You can't actually fire them gently.
I don't know. Can you incapacitate with?
I don't think so.
No. It has to be. It has to be a melee attack.
Did not know that. Okay.
Up to you though. That's just what Rodek would say.
I'll fire 1 arrow.
We'll say that's just fine.
Yeah, if the attack was a ranged attack or spell attack, the option's not available for a non-lethal.
So it's gonna be 10 damage.
10 damage. The arrow flies in. She keeps looking back at you, Sylvie, kind of like she's looking around afraid. She's looking to the corners of the room. She looks afraid, sad, wild. With that, I think. Did she use all 3 legendary actions that round?
She gripped me, bit me.
And that was it.
That was it.
She's gonna bite you
Coming
again,
up
Rhoda.
next to you.
She's gonna, and a natural 1. She's so distracted by the charm.
I know,
monster.
Taiki. Dwarves taste disgusting.
Don't I know it? She heals, and you see the wound start to close up as she looks around and she's clutching Rodek by the head and she says, "I don't want to do this. Tell them you'll listen to you. Tell them to leave me alone." And make a wisdom saving throw, Rodek.
Bye.
Natural 1.
Roll a natural 1, but I'm gonna use Indomitable, which lets me re-roll 1 saving throw a day. That's better. 17.
Just barely.
Wow.
Just barely. Her eyes turn.
Wait. Sorry, hold on.
Oh no.
Does Cloak of Protection give you +1 to saves?
Yes.
Okay, then 17.
The eyes shimmer red, and you see Rodek's eyes kind of gloss over for a second in that reddish paint. And he blinks and kind of elbows her once again in the nose.
You once fell off a cliff, not again!
She looks around. And she's breathing really heavily, looking very trapped. Vantage drop.
Okay, I'm going to try to non-lethally hit her as hard as I possibly can.
Okay. Do that.
It's going to be a 27.
That'll hit.
Points of damage.
29 points of damage. You run up and you stab her, which you assume to be non-lethal. It's hard to tell with a vampire. Kind of in the side, but it goes deep, and she feels that the magic of your charmed rapier singeing her undead flesh. No, I thought I was going to be protected. And Rodek, it's your turn. Oh, with that, she's going to try to bite you. I apologize, Rodek. And get a natural 1 again. Okay.
Hey.
I fuck all my d20s. Fuck every single one of them. I hate this. Rodek, you're up.
I will... While I'm grappled, I can attack her, right? So
Yes.
I will attack.
Okay.
Non-lethally. That's gonna miss.
It misses.
I'm gonna attack again.
You're trying to swing.
A natural 1.
A natural 1, and you're trying to stop struggling. And she's
So,
going to once again.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, but she would have taken 4 or 2d4.
3d4. She got hit 3 times.
No,
2d4.
It's only
one per round. So 2d4.
So 6 damage, so 3 damage.
3 damage. And she'll roll a con saving throw, and she'll fail horrifically. She still has the curses, and it's not doing as much. Sylvia, you're up.
Okay, I just have to look up one thing really quickly.
She's looking around wildly, looking from Vandris to Rudek to Annulin. She's cornered, quite literally.
Sorry. I don't know why it's not. There it is. I am going to...
Hold on 1 second. She's actually going to use her legendary to run.
Oh, okay.
Just to run in the middle of the room.
That's
just
fine.
to run away. Yeah.
Okay, well that's great. So I'm then going to turn to her instead of what I was going to do, and I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on her.
Okay.
So she has to make a saving throw. Fairy Fire. Dexterity save versus 17.
It's going to be 14.
Okay, yay!
Thank you.
Cheer.
Thank you. His
For
panting
Mikey's
is
excellent
pretty
panting.
excellent. And so for the duration, she cannot become invisible, and she's outlined in pink light. She cannot be invisible. She sheds dim light, and everybody has advantage on her for a minute.
What is this? What did you do to me?
I made you beautiful.
Okay. Yanglin, you're up.
Okay, how does what's the damage for an improvised weapon attack?
It is 1d4 plus your strength mod. I believe you also have a scimitar or 2.
You do.
Silver
Silver
use that.
Oh, does that count as...
That's a melee weapon.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It's dex.
I guess I'm thinking like it has to be like a troll club or something. Okay, so I am going to drop my bow and pull out my scimitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really see us on the screen, but just get close enough and make an attack.
Oh, sorry.
27 to hit.
27 hit? Okay. That'll hit, yeah.
All of your bonuses still apply too.
You
Colossus.
have any Hunter's Mark?
Colossus Slaying, Hunter's Mark.
Okay, cool.
You get double attack with the scimitar.
Oh, snap. Okay. Sorry. In that case, I'm just going to make 2 attacks non-lethally. So I'll just roll them both now. Same to hit. 27 to hit.
And it's 10:30, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That's 26 damage.
$26?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, hold on. Okay. You slash her. Her wound singes. It's her turn. She doesn't take the last of her legendary action. She takes the last legendary action, just run away. Here. And she looks around, and she reaches up, and she drops her bow, and she puts her hands up. Wait, please. Tidy looks around the room, panting. Eyes are wild. Terrified. Like an animal that's been backed into a corner. She's glancing around, particularly at the ceiling, particularly to the corner where the sunlight had been generated.
Is that it?
She.
That's her turn?
Avantris.
Oh, Avantris, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for more from you.
Oh. She turns to you, Avantris. I'm sorry. Avantris. Please, aren't we friends? Please. It's your turn. It's your turn.
We're in combat?
What do you want to do?
I'll
say she drops. She drops.
I want to run to her on my turn, use my movement to move to her, and say, even after all this, I'm still willing to help you, but you have to tell us what's going on. I don't want to have to kill you. I don't know if there's a cure for this, but I don't want to kill you if possible.
We'll say initiative ends. She looks up to you. She looks up to you, Sylvie. Seems kind of start to see kind of the remnants of whatever kind of magic that the charms repeatedly kind of in her eyes, as if there's been some kind of effect, and she drops to her knees. She clasps her hands together, raises her arms towards you, pleadingly. Moisture is actually starting to bead in the corner of her eyes. I appreciate that, Andrews. I don't want to kill all those people. I'm just so hungry. All the time. She sniffs and wipes her nose. At the back of her hand, a sad look on her face.
I want to walk up behind her and just hold my sword ready to knock her out if anything goes.
I'm gonna rush up and I'm gonna take the back of my dagger and I'm going to try and knock her out.
Okay. You try to do that?
It's a 15 plus whatever it would be to hit with my dagger, which I don't remember, but
15.
it would be at least a +1, so I'm gonna get at least a 16.
16, her armor class is 16, yeah.
Okay.
Roll damage.
And then the dagger is 1d4
plus your dex mod.
5.
5. Sylvie, you smack her on the back of the head. Her eyes kind of roll around, and she's not completely unconscious, but her arm, she kind
I
of...
poke Rodek in the side. I'm like, do it!
She slumps forward and says, "This is rich, ain't it?"
Yeah, I'll just finish the job. It hits. Non-lethally. 10, 16 damage.
You smack her in the back of the head. She falls to the ground.
Are you guys idiots? We don't have the mirror. We can't stop her from puffing into smoke and leaving. You just want to talk to her until she has enough resources to leave? Are you dumb? We have to have her tied up, or at least back with the mirror.
I'm already tying her up.
What is wrong
Someone
with you?
go get the mirror. Take this dragon egg. Someone go grab it right now.
And
I throw the bag of holding at somebody. I throw it on the ground towards the group as I'm tying her up, and basically like holding her down, just in case she wakes up or something.
Okay.
We know what time it is, like roughly.
It's like noon.
Well, we know that she can't leave this basement, at least for a few hours. So I don't know. Rodex. Everyone knows that I don't want to kill her, and Rodex said that we shouldn't. So I took the opportunity to not.
Well, I agree. I don't think we should. She's got valuable information. But without that mirror, we can't be sitting here talking to her because with the way she was glancing around, we have no idea what her plans were. Like, if you think that all of a sudden after all that she's just had a change of heart, then you're more gullible than I expected you to be. We have to be prepared for this.
I agree. We need the mirror right now.
I'm not going back to Guru by myself, and nor am I leaving Taiki here alone.
I grab the bag of holding, and I'm going to mount my broom, and I'm going to go as fast as I can.
No, hold on, hold on.
Before he even says anything,
as you're grabbing that, she kind of knocks up. You see Taiki start to stir. Because I realize how unconscious rules work for vampires. She looks around. She lifts her head up. There's a chip of her fang on the ground from where Rodex smacked her.
Would we be able to see, like, looking at this and like my familiarity with like unconscious stuff, would I be able to tell that it's futile trying to knock her out?
Make an Arcana check.
18.
18. You get the sense that you think that she should be knocked out, but she's pretty damn resilient. And she looks and she sees that you're leaving to go. And she looks at you, and she opens her eyes, and they are filled with tears. Sylvie, you think I want to be one of the bad guys?
If you don't, you'll stay where you're at, Taiki. You'll let us help you.
Do you think I have a choice? Any of you?
You have a choice now.
I'm still tying her arms like as much as I can in her legs.
Making a dexterity check. She's not resisting at all.
Natural 1. Dex check?
Yeah.
3, 4. So 4.
I don't know what happened to me. And I'm so scared.
Can you tell us what the last thing that you remember was before all of this started happening?
Could you please make a persuasion check, whichever one you would like to, at advantage? Whoever would like to make the persuasion check, because you've all...
Yeah, Avantris, he asked the question.
Yeah, I got a 30.
Yeah, I just got 30.
She looks, and she smiles as the tears are kind of streaming down her face. Blood from most of you streaming down her chin. This is real rich, ain't it? Me groveling for forgiveness. Trying to weasel my way out of trouble. Save my skin. Just like old times, huh? I didn't want to trick you. You're my friend. But I was promised a cure. And suddenly,
scared the shit out
sunlight fills the room.
Holy shit.
From where?
Immediately, Sunlight is filling the room. You hear the clattering of wood above you through Taiki's shrieks of pain. As you look up, you see a trap door in the floor of the barn above you. It's fallen open, and the blazing afternoon sun
I throw my cloak over.
shines down as you throw the cloak over the abandoned structure, and you clearly see a figure standing above you. An almost impossibly beautiful female with an impossibly picturesque hourglass shape, barely clothed beyond what looks like a glinted plated corset and underwear. However, her skin is bizarrely pink. Her lips are jet black. Where her feet should be are hairy, cloven hooves. Long black horns rise up from her equally black hair. Folded leathery wings hang from her shoulder blades. A fleshy tail snakes out from behind her lower back, and her eyes seem like otherworldly glowing blue orbs. As soon as you take in this sight, her shape starts to turn translucent. She raises a hand to her finger. As she looks down at you, she starts to shift. Rhoda, can you please make a dexterity saving throw? It's a straight dex check.
Mine too, Winnie. Mine too.
15?
15. This figure shoots you all a wink and blows you a kiss before disappearing completely. You notice, Rodak, all of you, that the cellar has become eerily quiet. The agonized screaming has stopped. By the time you can even process what's just happened, you look down beneath Rodak's cloak. The blackened, charred, withered head of what used to be Taiki Heartseeker. And that's where we'll end the session.
Holy shit.
Dark, my dude.
So,
yeah, I don't know what to say.
Who the fuck was that?
So.
Would I, obviously, I mean, it's ended, but would I have been able to see, like, the way that it shifted, that person we saw that was an illusion, with the way that it was shimmering? Or did it not seem
Make
like
an
an illusion?
intelligence check.
Not intelligence. Shit.
Or Arcana.
I'll do Arcana, thanks. 15.
It does not look like an illusion.
Oh. Okay.
So, you have that bit of knowledge. So with that, thank you.
The eerie silence from your music not playing is really doing it for me right now.
So
well,
anyway,
thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. If you want to find out what the hell that is with us, you should tune in next week.
And so tune in next time.
Sexy Krampus coming to bring you holiday cheer. Thank you, Dusty, for lightening the mood. Thank you.
And we appreciate you tuning in. And as always, we love you guys. We'll be back with Fey Wilds for the first time in a long time.
I get to DM again.
For 3 months.
Yeah,
so we're so happy to have Nikki DMing again for us to play our characters that we love. And then it's back to Tuesday, Wednesday. Let us know how you like it. We appreciate you tuning in. And I don't know if we're going to rate anybody or...
I think we should just end it on that tonight.
Yeah,
I feel like that's one where you just end it.
Yeah. Dork Themes, I warned you guys. If you weren't here at the beginning of the session, that was a warning.
Yep. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. It was really great having you all here, and we will see you on the flip side.
We love you guys. 600 followers. We're almost at the giveaway.
Yeah, we're almost there.
We're almost there, guys.
Feywild, where we may get it on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Good night.
Tuesday.
Bye.
See you guys. Love you.
Bye.